are live with our last day here for the ESL Pro League of our very first week of our 5th season. Yes, indeed, 14 teams from Europe and 14 across the pond in North America are doing battle to get into that top echelon, enabling them to get to those finals over in Dallas. It's all locked in, and already our first week has delivered, truly has, on the underestimating of some of the weaker teams. It's been big, and of course joining me on the desk to start things off, I'm Alex Machine Richardson, I've got myself Chad Birchill, and of course Lauren Pansy Scott. So, we've already hinted that there have been some crazy matchups, but the chances are you may have missed them, so we have the beautiful chance to just quickly remind everyone what the standings are. Now, there are 10 weeks of play, Lauren. People sometimes say, well, what's the point? Why are they battling out now? We've already seen evidence now that conceding a couple of early losses really can hamstring your chances.
Yeah, and NA looks a little bit more clear-cut than EU right now, but we've seen the likes of Kinguin turning up, who we're going to see today, of course, making it a little bit problematic, I can imagine, for some of the bigger teams later on in this season. But as said, a couple of teams really striding ahead early on here for the North American region.
And some have yet to play. I mean, look at that, almost half of them yet to play. Some big names as well, get to see what Renegade, Liquid, even seeing what CLG are doing, are yet to put a performance on the board, Chad.
Renegade's actually played last night, and they lost twice to Optic, and that was unfortunate.
But we haven't seen Liquid yet, because Elijah's in my fantasy.
Yes.
And I need to see him go frag.
Your ESL fantasy, right?
My ESL fantasy, yes, sorry, promo. Nice one. Over in Europe, though, as Lauren was hinting at, Kinguin got a big start, and we'll be seeing more of them today. Mouse Sports undergoing some serious heavy fire, and yet somehow prevailing in some rather mismatched affairs. FaZe fell to Mouse Sports, as well as seeing them pick up that big win later on. NIP yet to really make an impact, as did Fnatic. We watched them yesterday, Chad, and it was a rather kind of, we'll wait and see what happens to the new Fnatic.
Yeah, definitely. There's going to be time for them to actually fix the way they play. I think you're going to have to see Fnatic go through a growing period, because the style they used to approach the game with, it's not going to work anymore.
It's not just yet, no. Now, not only are the games going to be looking forward to today, we're actually going to have something quite special on the show. We are going to be giving you something very, very exciting. Some of the teams you're seeing here, even coming up today, the likes of VP, you'll get to see perhaps even G2, and of course you're going to be seeing on the B stream, you get to see LDLC, HR. It's going to be interesting to see the debut of the new LDLC, new look, French roster, getting themselves a spot in the Pro League. Going to be seeing how they do versus Hellraisers, how they fare. But we start off with that Polish derby as well. Now, I was saying there's something else to look forward to, and it is, of course, the group draw for Katowice. Yes, that's right, the event that is just around the corner. People are already over there, I'm sure, setting things up in order to have another spectacular and very, I mean, it's an infamous event in CS and in esports in general. IEM heading to Katowice, those crowds get loud. We're going to be doing the group draw live on this stream.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's always like a milestone, isn't it? It always feels
like
a little bit special. I don't know what it is about Katowice. I think early on, being one of the very early majors as well. You know, these sort of things. Yeah. Exactly. There's so many big moments that always are associated with IEM.
I remember grabbing this guy in his Vox Eminor shirt and having him on the desk over in Katowice.
That was good fun.
That whole crowd thing was shaking. The thing we were on like a stage that shook when the crowd.
There's like some weird side stage podium thing going on. It was great.
It was. Now you'll be looking forward to that group draw. That'll be going on after, of course, the first game between VP and Kinguin, getting those 2 matches done before we do so. But drama has ensued. Mouse Sports are top of the table, however much you want to read into that, but they are going to be losing an integral cog in the Mouse Sports machine. So many times we've been praising Nico for his individual prowess, and now it does seem like he's going to be departing the roster he has been locked within for a great deal of time. He is happy and proud to announce that he'll be joining FaZe Clan after DreamHack Las Vegas. Time will show everything. Reading into that at all, time will show everything, as in he thinks he's got a lot to prove?
Well, I think FaZe need him as well.
You think?
They've not exactly had the best start here, and it's another big gun to that lineup, a huge talent to be added, and Mouse Sports are just getting gutted at the moment. And Oscar's sat there like, I thought I joined a winning team here. What's going on?
Well, Chris J gone, and he had no plans. Nico gone. We're going to struggle to recognize much of Mouse Sports by the end of this one. Is this RIP Mouse Sports? I don't want to get lingering on it too much, Chad, but Nico was, sometimes we would say Nico has to perform for Mouse Sports to win, and that gun has been removed from their arsenal. Yeah,
hugely integral part of Mouse Sports. Right? I was saying that they look like they were struggling, especially after the major. They did make that change with Chris J that you mentioned to bring in Oscar, and then online they've been looking quite good, which is strange in itself, and I wanted some time to see how that panned out, but everything's quickly turned around. Nico hasn't hesitated to go join what he considers a better team. So for Mouse Sports, it sucks. That's probably the best way to put it.
That's probably the perfect way to summarize things. Now, they did say that they will be doing that after DreamHack Vegas. And if you're unfamiliar, DreamHack Vegas is an event that is even more so just around the corner. In fact, just next week, you'll be heading over to Vegas, whether in part online or if you'll be heading over there if you are local, heading to the Nevada desert to watch some Counter-Strike from the MGM Grand. Fortunately, Mitch can fill you tune in if you want to get all of the lowdown. We can head over to our favorite Australian. No offense, Chad. And we'll check in with him.
Yes, thank you very much, Alex. I do just want to make a quick announcement to everyone at home. If you haven't checked our schedule page up on our website or elsewhere, you may not have realized that next week there will be no ESL Pro League whatsoever. That's because a lot of our teams have headed off to DreamHack in Las Vegas. As you can see here, it's quite a stacked field, and a lot of our teams from the ESL Pro League, especially in EU, will be representing names such as Australis, Virtus.Pro, Fnatic, FaZe, Na'Vi, Mousesports, and so on. And also appearances, return appearances, in fact, from Tyloo and Renegades amongst the mix. So, pretty easy question to base this off of. Our poll today is, which of our ESL Pro League EU teams do you think are going to make it furthest at DreamHack Vegas? You can get involved in that one at facebook.com/ESLCS or at Twitter @ESLCS. And now, just to get you guys warmed up for a bit more DreamHack action, let's check out the top plays and the best action from DreamHack Winter.
Gambit probably going to rush B at this point, finish this one off nice and early. And you know what? Naf's not going down without a fight.
Oh, Tarek's not either. He's jumping up. Shotgun comes through, Mag 7 shot into the face of Hobbit, his second one in a moment. He has to go for the reload. The flash comes through. The flash saves him. That is awkward, but I love
Vegas
it.
is rotated down, however, so he should be in position to back up Cajun B, who's spotting on the site itself. Cajun finds the first kill. That bomb is dropped in the open now, but the smoke is going to allow for Flipside to start and work their way out. Electronic dropping to Cajun, and Cajun is just dominating this B site right now. Somebody needs to shut this guy down, but he reigns supreme. Another kill for him. That's 3 now in the round.
Both Flipside members are exceptionally low. Markov had 11, Blade has 1, and he's all left. The Flipside, and Cajun B's going to pick up the ace.
Stack up over toward B. 2 out toward. Oh, automatic.
What?
I was going to say up toward Catwalk, and automatic finds it third. Waiting it, timing it, but better shot from Mixwell. Pistol is successful, but they don't account for the fact that Adren also behind this smoke, and he finds 3 immediately. Bombs drop down on top of the site. A bit to work with, but they're going to rely on Naf to get in a better position. He gets caught off. Adren with an ace to hold out the site against the pistols.
Crossfire's that smoke off will change things slightly, but surely he's going to go through. He shot to find Mezzine, and now they can turn back these pistols and trying to furl in the attention he deserves, but there's so many smokes out, he won't even get far fast enough to catch them up before they're in the doors, and Ricky turns back again.
Time is still in favour of the CTs. The flash is coming, it's pretty much a final chance, but Ricky, he's looking for the ace now. 4 kills found, and there it is.
Wow.
What a performance. 4 P250s and an AWP. Finds all 5.
A little taste of what you could look forward to over in Vegas coming up just around the corner. But now, strap yourselves in because Counter-Strike's coming your way. We have, of course, got a Polish affair. Virtus.Pro, big dogs coming off, of course, getting to that grand final of the Atlanta Major, of course, brought to you by E-League and Kinguin, a team that have already impressed us. They're at the top of the table. I mean, take it with a pinch of salt. We're two days in, coming into our third, but still, this is a team that will forever be locked into that second best in Poland. And this was a discussion you were having earlier on today, Chad. You were talking about their fate is sealed somewhat.
Yeah, Matt and I were talking about it at breakfast, actually.
Right.
It's like if you're the second best team or even the third best team in Poland, you're never joining VP. Well, that's the way it seems anyway,
Sure.
right? You're always going to have to form a team with whatever's left, and you're not going to take a spot of any of those guys until, I guess, what are they, signed on till 2020 now or something like that? Yeah. So the VP guys are pretty much locked and loaded the way they are. Yeah. And then Kinguin, they actually beat these guys at WSG not that long ago. This was for the huge prize pool that they had there, and they actually managed to topple them. So I think Neo, someone was saying in an interview that Neo said something about these guys are the new top Polish team or something. It could be a little bit facetious, you know.
Felt like it a little bit, for sure. But I mean, the WESG win is the only win that we've seen from Kinguin in like 2-3 years versus Virtus.Pro. Everything else has gone the way of, I was about to say the Poles, but of Virtus. Right, Lauren?
Yeah, it's, 3-18 overall, so 3 wins sat with them. So there has been another victory in there somewhere, but these include probably online games, smaller events as well. But at the end of the day, it's still, you know, you got to give them credit for the WSG thing because the Mirage game was 16-5, so it wasn't like it was even close. They turned up on that. Yeah. So, you know, these guys are starting to turn heads. They had a good start in Pro League. It's seeing them really come together, and also they've got Lord as the, you know, coach in the mix, and obviously well known amongst the Virtus.Pro boys as well. So this could be quite an interesting matchup just coming through against them.
And these guys have been around for a while. Yeah. I mean, I remember what will essentially be 2 years ago, we got to see what Kinguin were capable of. They were under like the G2 tag at one point, like way back. And they've been sticking around, and they will forever be kind of a team you cannot underestimate. But it does seem like we're looking over some of Virtus.Pro's bigger performances. Of course, we got to see VP doing some damage versus Na'Vi. We saw a 16-8 win for them over on Cobblestone, and then it looked like Train was a little too much for them. Couldn't handle it and conceded a 16-10 defeat at the hands of, well, what was primarily Simple. But now they've got to do some more damage. He did play well.
We normally say that VP struggle online, but to see them take a map off Na'Vi, a team who last season did really well on the online portion until the end, is good. It's a good sign for them. Something for me just to note is when I used to go home and play like domestic matchups versus like Immunity or Chiefs or teams like that, beating them, there was always that little bit you used to like it a little bit more. It's like in your face, you know, kind of thing. So there's a lot on the line in like a domestic matchup or a derby like this one. So I hope VP want to come out swinging and show that they are better.
I wouldn't be surprised if that WESG loss actually hit them relatively hard. Because, I mean, let's not forget, if we keep saying these letters, it may mean nothing to you. This was a bigger prize pool than the major.
Yeah, it's massive.
1.5 million. You're going up against a team that from your same country that you consider yourself much better than, and you lose. This is going to be a big kind of proving ground.
Yeah, and they went on to get second in the end for themselves. So a good result. Lost out to, I think it was Envious at the end, or the French side that they came up with. So you can't dispute Kinguin have got good results recently. And generally it's been, Mishu's been one of the players to look at, or Mihu, how you want to say his name. I need to actually nail that one down, because clearly these guys are going to be turning heads this season. You know, he's been actually a real kind of forefront runner for these last couple of games. Even the ones against Virtus.Pro before he still performed, and the ones against FaZe, he really stood out as well.
Yeah, and that is the win they picked up. I don't know how much we want to kind of raise expectations with a 2-0 versus FaZe, because they seem to be losing to everyone at the moment.
Yeah. They had a sub, right? They had Jacob standing in because of all this roster change.
AZ had left. They hadn't got Nico.
Not yet, They were in a lot of discussions with different players, apparently. Rumoured to be, anyway.
I think
per sources, I think is
per sources, that the go-to?
Yeah, that's the go-to.
Per sources. Yeah. They've been speaking to a few people.
Covers your backside a little bit right there, but I think Overpass is probably a hard map to take Virtus.Pro on, especially the way they play. It's very pack related, and Kinguin, they just like sit back really. They don't do a lot of active stuff on their CT sides. They just like to do normally just the 2-3 split, 2 towards the A-bomb side, 3 towards B. They don't do a lot of the connector or stairs control, whatever you want to call it.
What, do you just forgo that control? You give it to them?
They don't take a lot of initiative down there. You know, sometimes you see going down there doing stacks or playing quite aggressively, pushing out into that water section of the map and taking control. They like to sit back, and the problem with that is when a team has a lot of numbers and they're coming at you, and VP do also like a lot of fakes from time to time. It can leave you guessing because you don't have a lot of map information, which is hard to deal with.
I would say as well, though, the one thing that always changes, I feel, in domestic matchups is how much you know your opponents and how much you're aware of what they do. So it can even change beyond, like, well, we know what Virtus.Pro normally do on this map. It's like, do they change? Do you see Kinguin change things up? Do they actually adapt away from their normal playstyle because they know this either won't work against them or we know exactly how they like to play this?
So I think, I don't want to, completely bin what you're saying. I think in this situation with these two teams, because you're never going to see VP players playing with the guys from Kinguin unless they're doing like a World Cup type thing.
Mihu.
So he's subbed in with them from time to time, but it's not like, say, the Danish scene where over the years they've all swapped and changed between rosters and you actually know the tendencies. In this one, and Europe as well, you get to see players' tendencies when you're playing in rank S or things like that,
Yeah. Carry on, Chad.
Yeah, please carry on. I'm just ruining things.
No, that's fine. You can just break the place.
Yeah.
I broke your phone, so you can break the...
Yes, you did. Let it be known. Chad did this.
Well, you can't really
see it. It looks like he's just got your phone.
It's quite destroyed.
Quite shattered.
But Chad, what was your point?
Shattered like my dreams. My point was, I don't think the domestic matchup in terms of knowing what the other team's going to do plays as big a role in this matchup as it would in, say, the Danish or Swedish scene. But I just think, like, Virtus.Pro are probably not cocky, but you want to think, you're the better team, right? So they unless they get Cuban, sorry, I completely forgot his name, I blanked, to do a lot of research and really work out the way these guys play, they're just going to go with their game style. And because, like I touched on last night, they have so much depth, they can just evolve the game while they're playing it. They don't need to go in with too many plans or counter strats.
Well, it's really funny that we talk about not having plans. Talking of Cuban, I actually had an interview with him over in Atlanta. And one of the things I was talking about, like, what can you really do realistically in those 30 seconds? And something he said to me, of course, much more applicable in an offline environment, but he still said they do it, it's present in all their games, is sometimes they will just take a timeout and just sit in silence and say, let's get Neo in his zone. And no word of a lie, this is online, you can watch it. And so basically, they use a 30-second timeout, and they all just sit there. Taz is just like, yeah. If they had one of those fidget spinners attack, and Neo just sits there kind of getting into his zone. Apparently this is a thing.
Okay.
So they basically like, we need some help. He goes Zen.
Fantastic.
And
he might go into the Matrix at that point.
Oh, that's 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
Did someone just fade Matt's mic up? I don't know if we heard that, but yeah.
We definitely heard it. It's great. Thanks, Matt.
Yes, but at some point, VP call timeouts exclusively to get Neo into that Wonder Child area.
That's kind of sick. I like that idea. Yeah.
Like, what can we change? We've tried changing strats. We've tried changing positions. Let's just give Neo 30 seconds. And I mean, we all know, we talked about it just yesterday about the power that both Snax and Neo can have on a game.
Definitely.
And I'm so glad we're talking individuals, because something that I think needs to be raised is that after what is now what? He's 30 years old, 10 years of playing competitive Counter-Strike with Neo, and of course more than that for Taz. He is still playing fantastically. He had a great major statistically. And outside of that, he has still managed to maintain present in the scene. He hasn't fallen off. And I still think this is kind of, there needs to be like a kind of a round of applause almost that this has happened really, right?
Yeah.
Chad?
He's pace setting, right? He's showing us what's capable in Counter-Strike.
Age is no object.
Exactly. So like Henry and myself, we've already retired.
Yeah.
We're not even 30 yet, you know? He's showing us, well, we could have kept playing. We're not as good as Taz, but he's basically stretching the limits and showing how far he can go. And he's signed on for another 4 years. The guy's going to be 34.
Do you think HS plays anything into being good at video games?
So we did some stuff back in the Championship Gaming Series days. And they like researched like our reflexes and stuff. And we had like so they were saying that apparently, you know, I was 18, I could be making this up. It could be a bad dream. You know, they're saying we have like reflexes like fighter pilots, like gamers, right? Like the ones at the top of the level.
Sounds like a nice tagline from the CGS.
Yes, exactly. But they think that at 25 is when your reflexes start to dip. So your mechanical skill and your aim and stuff probably starts to dip at that point, but the way that you can approach a game, you know, it's not all about aim.
Exactly. This is the thing again. Like it's always under the assumption that everyone operates at a relatively high percentage every single time they're doing this. So even if you do have an incredible reaction times, it's not like you're always going to be ready for that. You know, there's so many different elements that come into CS that you can negate that around. We say there's so many players who are very cerebral players that don't necessarily depend on having that incredible one bit of talent. You see obviously people excelling. You've got Scream out there. You've got Simple. Again, these players are probably outliers towards the higher end. You have a nice combination of being able to really apply that sort of thing. But I think you've got the young guns on this Virtus.Pro side still, youngish, I guess. You've got to say in comparison, they can kind of lean on to bring this through, and you've got the experience, you've got everything else sitting with, you know, Taz, your Neos, whoever you want to go to, and it seems to work out nicely. And I like the approach from Virtus.Pro. We're not going to change rosters every single week. We're going to stick with this and work through it. And it's a nice approach. If you get 5 people, I guess, that you want to genuinely play with and have genuine friendships with, why not stick it through?
And talking of sticking it through, haven't they actually like managed to maintain someone leading? They decided they would stop tossing it around. I remember last season we'd be sitting there go, does anybody know who's leading VP at the moment? Haven't they actually locked in on one, I believe?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I still heard it was up in the air, so who knows?
From what I understood, it has been locked in, and I believe it is going to be Neo calling.
Fair enough.
Could be wrong, but I mean, from what I understood, they're basically like, right, guys, one thing that we're relatively consistent. What should we stop changing? It was indeed their leadership. They'll throw around the AWP, but someone is always going to be making those consistent calls, at least first.
Okay, we'll see if that changes.
We'll see what happens.
I'd say
keep our eyes on social media for that one. But we are going to be going into Overpass as our first map, and just like kind of closing thoughts and expectations as we head into that one. Not forgetting, VP did just about concede. It was a 16-14 to Australis in that grand final on Overpass. Tested to their limits on that grand stage, and now they go up against Kinguin.
I think there was one round in that match where Zipnik's won that clutch on 1 HP that was just mind-blowing, and probably, wow. Okay, I think VP, you know, based off what I saw last night, they're here to play in the online environment. So, and like, it's a grudge match and it's a domestic match, and I think they want to prove that they are the better team. So I'm going to back them in.
Okay. Now, I mean, it would be a big roll of the dice to go for Kinguin here, Lauren.
Yeah, I'm with Chad on this one. I think VP are going to prove a point, but I think it will be closer than expected. I don't think it's going to be one of those dump strings where you get those 6 rounds, maybe. I think it will be a genuinely closer game than that, or at least I hope so.
Yeah, I think we all do. We want a good game here for the Polish derby. It is about to kick off, and we can introduce your casters right here, right now. Overpass is the map, and Kinguin are going to go ahead and try and continue some of the success they've already found here in the Pro League and over at WESG. Will VP get revenge versus their Polish rivals, or will Kinguin continue their success? Let's head over to your casters. It's Henry G and Sado.
Thank you very much, Alex. Yes, it is a Polish battle, and as they mentioned, it was WSG the last time we saw these two teams go head-to-head, and Virtus.Pro coughed up a nice $400,000 bonus, you could say, to Kinguin by not winning that game. It seemed like a free event
for them, right? That was one of the events they were going to run away with, but they really dropped off there. It was an interesting team to go down against as well. Kinguin, never going to be the #1 team in Poland, but they seem to be snapping at their heels now. They seem to be getting better and better. Last night they played Dust 2, and I believe it was Mirage as well. And there's some big victories there, but Overpass, I'm not so sure they can replicate that success.
Do you know why there's only one blue balloon?
Why is that?
I have no idea. I was just wondering if you
Were
knew.
you going to try and troll me again with your fake
Yeah,
stats? And I was going to go, oh, really, Matthew? That's very interesting.
CT win rate's an interesting one on one side, but not a lot of stats available for Kinguin, obviously, and having not played this map as commonly. Virtus.Pro obviously has to be the favorite as well, but much like Astralis, coming back after a major they didn't win. They definitely look to be in better form than how they started off last year's Pro League, and I imagine are very much hungry to try and win Malmo, to win Katowice, more importantly, in front of their home crowd.
That's going to be a really exciting event, Matt. I'm sure you can't wait. We were there last time, weren't we? It was actually very, very fun indeed.
I was hosting last time.
That's actually true. I forgot that was actually a thing. That was like one of your first big hosting gigs, I guess. Like in the stadium doing that. It was pretty cool. I think I was casting with... who is that? Machine.
You were casting with Machine.
That's right.
Who was starting to believe too, Henry.
He was starting to believe.
And I was hosting a desk with 18 people on it and segments that lasted 4 seconds. It was a good time.
Yeah. But what a good job you did.
Thank you. I tried my best.
Yeah.
I was very strict. I had to deal with the dangerous Serbian that is Yanko.
Bit of a loose cannon back then, wasn't
almost
he?
died about 4 times, but we made it through.
So in terms of predictions, the guys have obviously put their bets towards VP at this point. Do you feel the same? Do you feel like this could be...
Yeah, I think I have to.
Yeah, it'd be mad not to at this point. Obviously, VP just got to a major final. Kinguin, like Chad said, it's always interesting that these kind of derbies, but they're still a very skilled team. They have taken down FaZe, albeit a weakened FaZe. They just lost some of the headline players, AZ, of course, and I think anyone could have beaten them at that point. Obviously, a bit discombobulated, but I still think it'll be a good game. The problem is, for this one, VP, very aggressive on this map, and we'll see whether the younger guys and Team Kinguin can hold them off. It'll be quite an interesting match, I think. I feel like we'll get to double digits on the Kinguin side.
I think it's entirely possible. A map that is momentum-based, favors a certain style of play, and that style of play doesn't even necessarily lend itself to previous histories of teams on it, but basically what rhythm they can find and communications they get based on the offense. And what I'm saying is, as a CT team, if you play aggressive at bathrooms, that's fine, but if the Ts don't play into it, that's another thing. So it's a matter of circumstance, I find, on Overpass.
Well. Let's get into it then, shall we? It's going to be Kinguin versus VP. That's right, the Polish derby is live. 3 sets of armor for the terrorists. That is Kinguin. And they've got 2 smokes as well. Normally going towards the B side. That's where most terrorist sides will end up on their pistol round. And having a look for that aforementioned Virtus.Pro aggression. Not going to be coming in just yet. Quite a passive hold on their CD pistol for now. You can see the terrorists making their way towards long for now. Pasha spots them. He'll be falling back. He's by himself. Doesn't want to overcommit. He's got some information. Spotted a couple of Ts there. But they will get long control and indeed the bathrooms as well.
Furlan. Try and hold off position as they start to push out toward long. It's Pasha that's going to spot down the other direction. Mihu, the one in front of him. Make that 2 players as well, because Rollins in the same position. The nade will land above Pasha's head. He's tall enough that it actually does cop some damage onto him. He's down to 57. And to his left side, it's Snacks trying to probe out the front side of the bathrooms to see what information he can gather. They've slowed it down as well, which means an early rotation can't necessarily be relied on at this point in time. They can't afford to overcommit. They have pulled Neo into the window room, which does mean he's quicker to arrive on the A site should they go in that direction, and they are slowly accumulating to do so with 47 seconds. Smoke's going to go toward the bank stairs. Flashes go over as well, but Pasha's made his way in the corner. They're going to bait him, and he fires instantly. He saved the shots. Gets one, but gets traded out immediately. It might have been interesting to see if he waits, but doesn't elect to do so, and it's all Kinguin on the way through. Spiro with 2. Bomb going down. Bialy versus 4. He's the last to rotate out of B.
Yeah, not really much Bialy can do about this one. No kits. If you can find a couple of kills, that'll be $600 in the bank. That's pretty much as good as it's going to get. But Bialy, an incredibly skilled player. This would be down to Kinguin making mistakes. We can give him a window here. They can just allow him to touch a bomb. But Spiro, he's not messing around. Finishes it off there. Nice job from Kinguin. Pretty default round to begin with. The spreading out across the map, getting that long control, like we mentioned, nice and fast. And once you got that, you can see you got bathroom control, long A as well. Basic execution, smoke towards the bank and towards CT spawn as well. VP were ready for that as well, but they had quite a heavy stack towards the A side. Pasha especially could have done better in that position. He's being baited in by Taz perfectly there. They didn't even check that tight left position. He could let 2 or 3 players run past. He takes the first shot, whiffs it a little bit, gets 1 kill. Straight away, he's going to be traded. And at that point, the retake wasn't really possible for Bialy and co. as they try to come back into it. But Virtus.Pro now, there will be a force buy on the second here. CZs and Pasha, he's got the scout this time. It's normally Neo who picks up the weapon on the second round. So an interesting adjustment there. He'll be towards long. And in terms of the buy for Kinguin, 3 rifles, of course. This is my favorite sort of buy on these kind of anti-force buy approaches. They're going to be going for some slow mid-control here.
Rollin. Mac 10 in hand. Going to work toward that bathroom position. Snacks inside on the left of the door. There's a 5-7 and not so much spider sense, I guess we could call that. Reverse spider sense? Everything's fine. Walk away. It's Groundhog Day. Saw his shadow, got scared, and got killed.
Pasha's going to fall in with this scout to try and get a shot out toward Kinguin at long. Groundhog Day was a great movie, Henry. I know you like the Top Gear replica.
I did watch it.
Or I should say the Grand Tour replica.
Yeah. Well then, 5-on-4 for now, and at this point, Kinguin have got that man advantage. Don't need to do work too hard at this point. CT's gonna have to hunt like Pasha's doing right now. Does some damage, gets a headshot in there, but I don't want to find a frag just yet. So Mihi will take him down once again. Huge advantage. Use the utility at this point, make way to the bomb site, and it's hit those headshots. Furlan doing some good work there to take down Neo. Bomb should be planted momentarily. Taz and Bialy probably better off saving their CZs and armor at this point. Taz is going to be sniffing around a little bit, but just hoping someone walks into his crosshair.
Bialy, CZ75 is going to walk away as well to try and keep the armor as well. Taz waiting for exits at this point in time, at least. AK-47, juicy.
Is it?
It's a bit juicy, and that is a juicy shot.
Yes.
That is a marinated steak ready to go on the grill. That's what that is, or as Chad would say, the Bobby. But really, Chad's just the Ken doll, not the Barbie. And Taz getting Furlan. That's going to take another gun down. They've got a shot on Rollin. If they had a kit, fancy a chance at this, but it's the AK that's now completely recoverable. That's one. If I'm Bialy, I might try and push in for more questions. Does Taz got to get away? So Bialy's going to go behind him. Does he get the AK? Bialy, you've got to get there. You might... Oh, I thought he left him too late. Got far away from him to go for his own gun.
Well, all things considered, a little lapse of concentration there for Kinguin. I think they assumed that Virtus.Pro are saving the weapons there. Taz and CT Spawn being a nuisance. They find 3 kills there, so denting the economy. You can see the reinvestments coming in from the T's. They're not going to have that swelled bank account just yet. A couple more AKs to be purchased. It's going to be Mihu down to AK-47s. They've got some interesting names in, Matt. I think they're going to be trying to play with our minds here. You can see lots of Zeds being chucked into the mix there. And the tags as well, just to make it a little bit harder. But here we go then. A full eco pretty much. We have got Bialy though on the AK-47. Pasha aggressive of course towards long. Take him down and it's going to be Spiro showing his hand towards B. But I think after that pick, and now they know the AK's on that side, that's the cue. Get towards A as quickly as you possibly can. You can see on the minimap right now. They will be taking the bomber towards long and Furlan leading the charge towards the A side itself.
Yes indeed, as Neo rotates around to get in toward the back stairs. Dumpster stairs now lit on fire. The arsonist, of course, Furlan on the way through with the Tech 9 to hold off rotations long enough to allow the bomb to get into the default position. That's going right now in the hands of Spiro, I believe. Take that back, it's Mouse. He tries to fire shots as well into the blank smoke on the other side. The one saving grace in this is Snacks that's trying to sneak in behind. Bialy's not going to go. He's got the AK with the armor. Taz obviously left him with that gun, given that he lost his head armor, which is a little bit more costly, all things considered. Getting Taz, though. SMG down. But the saving grace I was going to say, Snack slipping in behind him, because if they even run back with low HP, he's going to pick up kills as well. And there's AKs to grab. There's deposits to be made because this is going to start to benefit them getting into the gun rounds. Neo finally does take Furlan down, and here we go, Snacks. He's trying to find an opportunity. He's going to hear a player directly in front of him. Mihu down, gone, AK grabbed. Snacks on 100 HP will stay alive and toward that long position, and Bialy and he will both have AKs going into the gun round.
That's a really successful round from VP. They took 1 AK into that. They leave with 2, take 4 players down from Kinguin as well. That's actually very beneficial. That means Kinguin will be at almost breaking point now. Rylan has got enough to buy the AWP. He chooses not to. They will be going for an array of AK-47s here. You can see right now on the scoreboard. They are going to be heavily affected. They lose this round, pretty much guaranteed to be an eco going forward. So VP doing some decent work. You have to pick up a round, but like we said, they're known for aggression on this map. They're going to be going straight towards that bathroom position. That's going to be Pash and Snacks working together. Smoke's coming in nice and early, but that should be a little bit of a ruse here. It looks like a B execution, very likely at this point. There's one player towards the A side of the map, that's Spiro, and he might get some contact very soon as the CTs are not wasting any time here as they get connected control. And you can see right now, 3 terrorists outside that monster tunnel. I'm going to say, using those Molotovs, the smoke is a start. Executions are very viable in these first gun rounds. The CTs after the force buy, they're going to be weaker. They're not going to necessarily have incendiaries to hold you off.
Rollin. It's going to hold off with bomb as Furlan again has already made his way inside of construction. Taz won't spot him with that jump, but will be heard in succession by Kinguin. So therefore, they know at least he's out toward the jungle position. Where's Bialy going to be playing? Behind the barrels, behind the pillar. It's the latter as we know it, but he faces a little bit wide to go for bags, leaves himself open toward the monster position. That's going to cost him dearly as Taz only manages one on the way through. So we talked about the economic game and the bonuses and benefits to the previous 2 rounds from Virtus.Pro. It doesn't matter if they can't convert the gun round. Back down to a 3 versus 3 boost up as well from Pasha. They're going to catch one in the open. And on the repeat, realizes he's got Mihu low enough to take him down. That was a great dink onto Rollin through the tin wall that is the bomb site itself. This is interesting as well because they're going on. The problem now is that they're going to be going on the site quickly. Rollin's on 8 HP. And if that backstab's going to come in, if that flank's going to work, Spiro's got to hurry up. Rollins got to try and hold off this defuse at 10 seconds inside the smoke. He's off just slightly. If he hits it, there's a real chance for his teammate to help the round. That's not going to happen now. It's done. They're already defusing it. 10 seconds done. Snacks gets the kill immediately after.
Bit of a high-risk maneuver there, but Spiro, the long flank, to be fair, like, even if he gets there in time, he can't see the bomb. The defuse point is actually going to be behind those boxes there. It's spammable, but it's going to be a real tough, tall order from that position as well. He wasted a bit too much time, especially his teammate just being dinked there as well, but it's a big round for VP to pick up. Like I said, almost guaranteed to be eco going forward. Kinguin with the bomb going down, they do manage to get an extra $800, so they have a partial buy this time. Tech-9s, P250s, some smokes and Molotovs there, but Virtus.Pro posting their first round. Looks like a fast speed coming in. Smoke towards heaven, but that's been misthrown. And that's actually going to set up VPs for a lot of frags here as Bialy opens things up.
Return frag, though, from Spiro on a Tech-9. Look how quickly it resets. Kinguin, that bomb plant's beneficial to them in that situation because they need to get the money rolling, having just gotten an injection of 1,400 last round, 1,900 this round. And Furlan elects not to go through with it on inside of the smoke.
Yeah.
Expected he might.
Well, that's Kinguin going for the fast beat, execute that point objective, just get that bomb down, but the misthrown smoke towards heaven, that's very vital indeed. This rotating CTs can't believe their luck there. An open entrance to the bomb site. Terra is not going to be looking towards that area. 3 frags for everyone, and an interesting buy coming in now from Kinguin. They have fully invested into this round. 4 AKs, a Tech-9 on Spiro, lacking utility, but this will be some sort of default at the moment. No AWP picked up for Virtus.Pro so far, but at this point, the 5 rifles seem to be working. Everyone's fragging, so stick with it, see how it goes. Round number 6 here, and we do have Spiro, as mentioned, on that Tech-9 only, so he'll be thrown into the bomb sites first if they do want to execute. Right now, just seeing if there's any aggression coming in from the CTs, and they'll try and gain some map control. Looks like Long will be the first port of call here.
Flash out. Quick shoulder check as well to go around the corner. Mihu will be now the one to lead. Following in his stead is Rollin with bomb and Furlan afterwards. Spiro's going to hold off down below as well inside of that rotation point at middle. And it's Mouse keeping the flank at Monster, leaving options open as well. Minute to work with. We say it almost to the point of redundancy, but it's long rotations for the terrorists. Decisions have to be made early, and rotations have to be sought out. You need an early pick. As Virtus.Pro, they lob toward Long. Rollin gets tagged down to 27 before the action even commences.
Setting up for the execution here, we can see the bomb is actually making its way towards T-spawn. That will go towards B, so Rollin and Mihu are setting something towards the A side. Whether they'll commit a player and sacrifice him almost, yet to be seen. Looks like Mihu will be committing himself towards the A side. He's a very skilled individual. He might have to run through the fire at this point, trying to find that first frag, but they're just going to be delaying him. He can't really do too much.
That's
has to commit. Oh dear.
Between 2 Molotovs.
Perfect by Pierre.
That's a better show than Zach Galifianakis between 2 Thorns, because he gets roasted by both, and they do stack, and I think they were both hitting him on the first 2 ticks, so it was even worse than we thought. Originally as Taz comes out from jungle. 2 remaining, now just 1. It's Furlan trying desperately to keep Kinguin in the lead of this, but I dare say it goes 3-3. Does find Neo on the edge of the smoke, down to a 2 versus 1, and he's got Taz as well. Just remaining, I say Snacks is the next one down. I thought it was the other way around, doesn't matter. Taz will hold it, gets the defuse, it goes 3-3.
So you can see exactly what they're trying to do at that point. Kinguin up against it in terms of the execution, so they're trying to sell a fake towards A. Couple of smokes towards the A side itself, but the problem is they didn't get held out by those incendiaries, and Neo drops him perfectly in front of the first one. It means Mihu has to decide, do I commit? I know I'm going to die. I'm flashed at the moment as well. He sticks on the fire, can't really do much about it, and he's not going to sell anything by himself. He's getting burned by a Molotov. They get back towards B, and of course it was interesting there. Furlan doing what he could with the AK-47, but not quite enough to finish the job off there. Does some decent damage, and they get the bomb down. Lost bonus starting to accumulate now, so they can buy AKs once again. Will be rolling down to a Galil, but still going to be lacking with those grenades. Only 3 smokes, no Molotovs. Very crucial to get towards that B bomb site, flush out positions like the barrels, and if you go towards the A site, the truck, of course, as well. So we'll see what the approach is this time. Still no AWP purchased yet. Interesting from VP, sticking to the rifles. And to be fair, the game plan's working. They haven't had to work too hard for these 3 rounds in a row. So up to Kinguin now to strike next.
Spiro holding off on the corner. Snacks is going to wait as well with Pasha to be baited in. That's the goal, but Snacks needs to make sure he keeps eyes elsewhere. Didn't see where that came on the map, but Neo just got obliterated. I think that was front bathrooms as he just went down. Snacks with a smoke out. That's going to cover off in front, but Pasha goes immediately on top of that because he no longer has Snacks' vision and support. He goes 1 for 1. Opening kill, therefore. That lovely shot on the Neo is the offsetting cause to make it 4 versus 3. Nades and damage, though. to help VP in that stead. However, gone down now to just Taz and Bialy to cover off, and only one of them inside of the A site. Default spot from Taz to play. Hard to get out of this position, though, and Mouse is ready for it. Bialy gets one immediately on arrival and keeps this just barely in reach. The bomb as well is entering into the site in the hands of Rollin. But Mihu is hoping not to have to do much because he's low HP, was waiting for post-plant. Lovely shot as well with the elevation on Mihu as a result.
And they pick up the round. A little bit sloppy from Kinguin, I have to say. Weren't really forced to commit one by one at that stage. They almost opened up the window for VP to get back in that round, but the 2v1 proves a little bit of a tall task there for Bialy. Can't finish the job off. It will be 4-3. Kinguin still around back. You see the force spike coming in return. This is a nice little replay from before. Furlan's attempt at that big clutch situation. So the buy comes in for VP. 1M4, a couple of UMPs, CZs, and P250s. The problem is, VP are so scary in these situations, and you can see Taz now trying to be a little bit creative here with the boost, get that first kill in their favor, then they can fall back and see what the UMPs can do. But the UMPs probably going to be in those bathroom positions. I think they've got one in there at the moment. That'll be Snacks, joined by Pasha. He's got the CZ, and we'll see whether they can make these close-range situations work. So, huge advantage for Kinguin. They know the money's going to be over CTs. 4 players outside the monster tunnel right now. Bialy, though, he's so strong in that position, but he got the SMG this time.
Bialy holding back as well with the UMP. Hoping they're going to walk in and look to the left, cover off barrels, and then swing wide and overlook his position. That's not going to work, but Spiro, meanwhile, is going to be the distraction onto A. Single smoke. Just try and hold them off inside of the site, buy space for his teammates. As Snacks and Pasha start to push up the front bathroom, they're going to realize that Spiro's alone. There's not much else in terms of activity out in front of the bathrooms itself, so Pasha and Snacks can hold Taz and Bialy over at B with information alone, and Bialy again just waiting to see if this will be overlooked, but they swing in, they peek it, Mouse finds them. And it's going to be Taz that has to follow up, spray them down the way through, but only one before he's blinded. Spiro again, the salesman, is able to take down Neo, so that's one less in the rotations, and without guns, it's really all about economic damage again for Virtus.Pro at this point in time. Little nifty boost. I'd go for the window boost right there. Why not?
Well, you've only got the UMP, so a little bit of a long range, but yeah, certainly viable option. I think at this point, is saving these little bits of weaponry they have is probably going to be the stronger option going forward. But Spiro there, like he said, the salesman towards A. A lot of pressure on his shoulders against Neo there as well. Could have gone either way. If he goes down, certainly gives VP an option to go for the retake at that point, but he nails the shot. Will be 4 players surviving for Kinguin. They want to make sure all 4 players stay alive here as well. But Snacks, he's got one in his crosshair. He's known to be a little bit stabby at times. Might be going for the knife here. He gets $600 for the UMP kill, and he will be taking it at that point. There's a knife's not going to be possible. Upgrades to an AK, and that's pretty decent overall. He manages to get an AK-47, and I could have juggled back the UMP to his teammate, but obviously wasn't communicating in time. And we'll be round number 9 here, 5-3. Looking at the cash for VP, it's a very similar situation than before. The force didn't really work out for them. Another eco, but Snacks, Matthew, with an AK-47, can certainly put on the show for us, and we'll see what he can do here. He's got an AK, head armor, and all the grenades required, so he's going to have to go a little bit more aggressive here. He's got the screen right now towards middle. Normally can smoke on those steps, jump above them. It's normally an Overpass position, but in this sort of scenario, maybe he can make something happen with the AK-47. No orbs purchase at all yet on either side as we hit round number 9.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's kind of peculiar. It's just the way that the game has balanced itself.
Yeah, it's been a rough game in terms of money for both sides. No one's really run away with this yet.
Yeah. As long as they don't get caught for tax evasion, everything will be fine. Spiro's going to hold off to make sure the push gets caught. Taz does. Second player realizes that's probably not the best idea, so Bialy will hold the station while Furlan goes to work on Neo. Rollin closes out on Snacks, and now it's just between a rock and a hard place for Virtus.Pro's position of aggression. Pasha goes down. Last but not least, this will start to build up a bit of a peg for Kinguin. 5 staying alive.
Absolutely. That's another clean round for them, and still, VP can't get himself in a situation where they can get Pasha, who's been the main AWP for the last month or so. He can't get the AWP still. You can see not a single kit purchased. Still lacking those grenades as well. Team Kinguin in a fantastic position here to keep applying the pressure. This default into execution seems to be working out quite nicely for them. Haven't seen Virtus.Pro really adapt their game. I wanted to see them get a little bit more aggro. Sending 3 players towards long. Okay, this could be it. Pasha and Snacks. Maybe a crossfire baited in by Neo at this point. We'll see what happens. He's been running straight in there. There it is. Snacks gets that first kill. Man advantage. He takes quite a lot of damage there, but that's what they wanted. They know these rounds have been rough for them. I did state at the beginning of the game, they're known for this ruthless aggression on this map, and finally, we're starting to see it.
Snacks. It's going to play with Pasha. All M4 A1Ss with the exception of Pasha. It's not necessarily, and Pasha goes down, speaking of, trying to get information, going out completely dry, but it's not something we talk about as much anymore. Remember, there was the buff for the A1S,
Yeah.
different recoil patterns, obviously the bullets. So that's kind of died off, but it's still an interesting thought with the Tracer advantage. I still find there's instances that it's necessary to mention is it's going to be all Kinguin again in this gun round. They've only lost Mihu to start things, and are so good, I have to say. Continuing that way, Furlan's going to get Bialy. VP starting to look desperate for information.
Yeah, well, they have to be. They get that first kill again, but Kinguin, you have to say, Matt, we've been following this team for a while. They've been through many different names. Dobrin, Gaming, Kinguin. There's one other org I'm forgetting as well, but they've been around a while. They've always had great individual players, and they're just winning the duels right now as well. Virtus.Pro get that first man advantage, but Kinguin work together, get the pick back, and they wait for the rotations to come in. Like I said, Virtus.Pro with no nades or kits have to work a little bit harder, get some map control here, get them information to work with. Kinguin just mowing them down at every opportunity. Now Neo will be the solo player for VP at this point. It's 4 players surviving for Kinguin. No real reason to hunt. We've kind of theorized this before. Allowing players to save when they're crushed economy like this, you can actually force in, especially teams like VP who have been known to do a lot of force buys, the SMGs and the shotguns. You let them save an M4 with the loss bonus getting to the place it is. You almost want them to save the M4 to tempt them to force buy, right? So you want to keep your money strong. You've got low HP players. Just let them save the M4. It's fine. See if they are going to be wasting their money further. As Kinguin do take the round in the end, Neo will be surviving. And this is starting to get a little bit interesting. Certainly still a CT-sided map, and Kinguin, the underdogs, although in their last encounter, it was WESG, and that was over in China. A big event for Virtus.Pro. We thought they were going to take one of the largest prize pools.
Shenzhou?
Yes, that's right.
That's correct.
One of the largest prize pools we ever had in CSGO. Well,
the largest prize pool.
Was it
was the largest prize pool.
And it was a team, it was a tournament mixed up of like almost mixed teams, and VP were going to run away with that and get that easy money. But
to clarify, it was mixed teams only due to the fact that it was the rules. It was anything but mixed teams, in fact, of nationality. You had to play with 5 countrymen. As such, VP was one of the only teams that could go out of the pro circuit. Right now, some of the Swedish teams could punch a shot at VU. Virtus.Pro just throwing everything at it with the pistols, I have to say. But yeah, you would have expected them being one of the only teams that could field a set 5 that's in the bag. And instead, it was in the bin.
Yeah, Envious took that one as one of the final.
North pulled out of that as well. They wanted to shape right up before the major. They would have had to play with AZ, who, interestingly enough, is now in that.
They didn't attend, right?
That's right. They won the EU qualification stages, of which Russia beat Virtus.Pro to finish 3rd in that as well. And yet chose not to attend the event to prep for the major. Now, they did make it into a legendary spot, so you could argue that is justified. But another team that could have picked up, I think the winning team potted, I should say, 800,000 alone.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts.
So
well then,
that would have been big.
Matthew, you finally get some AWPs. It's happening.
Yeah, I don't like those guns. I was kind of enjoying the lack of them.
Well, it's a double orb setup, and it's getting pretty rough for VP. They're a maximum loss bonus now, I believe, as well. I'm just going to confirm. Yeah, 5 in a row. It's $3,400 coming in. So at that point, double orb setup. Neo, who used to be the main AWPer, and Pasha, of course, who is the main AWPer at the moment. They will be rolling with these weapons, and I think it's about time. Snack uses that little smoke there. He's got a nice angle. Someone can just walk into his crosshair. He knows it as well. Could be a bit of a misplay, and looking for the first frag. Takes some damage, though. He's been spotted, but somehow he always recovers. Down to 9 HP as he takes one down.
Molotov. Furlan gets pushed forward. He'll shut the door behind him immediately after, and throws his own fire bottle of flames into toward the barrels, and Neo slips out with an AWP at hand. Shot from Bialy. Whoa, nice shot that time around, though, with the AWP inside of the site. From Neo, it's going to have to go the other way because Snacks gets taken down. He's going to have to rotate over, and Furlan still has an AK. He's doing massive work. 3rd kill now for him as Neo falls. Bomb's not in his possession. That's the biggest problem out of all this because he's got a minute still to work with. HP on 18, and he's going to try and rotate around, catch them off by getting in through A and coming down the stairwell. Now, is this too predictable?
Well, it's pretty much all he can do, right? He might as well try and do something a little bit nifty. He has made it over there relatively quickly, but around this point, I'd be calling, okay, guys, let's get ourselves in the crossfire. We know where the bomb is. We can even allow him to get onto the site. So the amount of time he's going to waste at this point, he won't have time to go to the other point. Just wait for him to plant, and we'll take him together. And you see them adjusting right now. That's all they'll be discussing. Bialy, you go and watch the entrance. Taz covers Monster Tunnel. Nice crossfire setup, eradicating a lot of risk at this point. Perfect. That's all they need to do. And now they know he can't actually go to the other side with the bomb. So wait for him to touch it. Attack them together.
Oh, and there it is. Bialy's ready for it. So pretty straightforward. 8-4. Virtus.Pro finally getting another round. Double op setup part of it, but Snacks going down on the B site as fast as he was, and in an awkward situation, it wasn't necessarily the most effective. Only one of them was able to pick up the kill. Neo goes to the scout in this situation.
An interesting decision. The Scout comes out. He's certainly very good at the weapon. I just don't think Overpass is one of the strongest Scout maps. There is opportunities towards long. Not so much in B to have those jumping potential. I guess you can jump yourself up and have some boost going on over the wall and stuff, but regardless, Pasha needs towards middle, using that smoke, as I pointed out before, to get that first pick, takes down Rylan, and that's the job done. CT's being aggressive at the start. Your objective is to get that first kill. We can keep 5 players alive, exactly what they're doing right now. Fall back and allow the terrorists to make the next move. You've done the hard work at this point.
Shot from Bialy. I was about to say Mouse swings wide at the right time, but the flash wasn't there. He might have had a chance to win the duel instead, but it's Bialy that does prevail. Now fall away ever so slightly on the Kinguin side, getting a little more shy. Still a chance to pull this half back for Virtus.Pro, considering I would have expected it to be a more convincing game, but it's always interesting when we see the Poles play. Any teams play, the Danes, French coming up after this as well, head to head.
It's a really good game.
Nice shot from Pasha, takes down Spiro, and all that's left, all that remains is just 2 players, Furlan and Mihu, that are going to try and work out toward Long and Bomb. Likely to go that direction, or do they have to split up in this situation? I say split, try and find picks each and individually, because execution with 2, not really ideal. Goes for the AWP, that's going to drop the AK down, and I think at this point, 32 seconds, that AWP backing away. Unless he finds a pick in bathrooms, which he does, I would consider saving on to that, because money is getting grinded off of the T side. They've got a round still to buy, but play the long game, considering this could go 8-7 if they're not careful. Taz, though, taking Mihu down, and Furlan's going to have to sit back. 14 seconds, I'd say that's done. Tries to go for another shot, 32 HP tagged up, and if you look at the mini-map, it's a race to the back of the rocks, and immediately around the corner, Pash is going to arrive. Yeah, this is smart.
Yeah, they actually want to do this. If he dies after the timer, they're going to pounce on him now. You can see everyone jumping around the corners. They want to take him down. Perfectly done. He does get a kill on towards Neo, but he only had the AK, so that's not a huge deal. And you can see that's reflected now. The money's going to be a little bit lower now. But to be fair, there was money available for Kinguin, so they should be able to get a full buy, even after the full investments. Be Rylan left over with 4,600 residual dollars there, so he's absolutely fine. Pash is 6 on the AWP himself. Not going to have that double AWP setup this time. Round number 14, Virtus.Pro getting himself back into this one. They're going to pick up these last couple of rounds here. But there's more aggression once again. It's going to be Pasha this time. Got some players on his left, and they do give their position away, but he decides better of it. Falls back, and Spiro looking to challenge. You can hear him falling back there. Last footsteps being made.
Nade out toward the long position. Rollin will jump on the flower bed. How dare he trample. Such beautiful work done by the community. Pasha, meanwhile, flashed off and flames in front. He's going to have to play a slightly different angle with the AWP. As he gets out toward the bathroom alone, Neo back toward the bank stairs is well removed from supporting Pasha, and they're actually quite close together. They're going to hear him running out of the bathroom position, but Furlan himself is alone and doesn't want to risk it. Neo, found by Rollin, though, opens up long, and this will encourage an attack from Kinguin.
This is nice work from Kinguin. They managed to negate that initial aggression coming in from Virtus.Pro. That's been a problem for them. So Pasha or Snacks finding that first kill. Execution game coming in at this point. The smokes, the Molotovs have been dropped. The bombs towards long. They're trying to pull the rotations in. They don't necessarily have to commit, and it's going to be Spiro finding another frag. At this point, definitely going to go for it. He finds 2 frags on the entry there. 5 on 2. Pretty much impossible round number. Taz has found a little bit of a gap in that smoke. We'll be pushing through. Here's the reload. Nails a shot as well. Could deny the bomb. Not meant to be. Spiro takes him down. Round over. As Bialy tries to do what he can, but it'll just be 1 kill as Kinguin pick up number 9 there. Virtus.Pro should be struggling for cash here. I think it's round number 15. You can see on the screen right now. Pistols, shotguns, SMGs. Not necessarily a problem for the likes of Snacks. He actually sometimes prefers a shotgun. Even when he has like 10 grand, he'll buy a Max 7 sometimes. He'll be picking out the Deagle on this occasion, though.
Push out a spawn with an AWP in their hands against Pistols. Could make this 10-5. We were close at one point when it was 8-4 that I thought it might have gone to 8-7. Mouse makes a little bit of an entrance toward the construction position. They hear that coming, and he backs away. Flash timing is well placed because that AWP was promising, and Bialy with the M4 already crossed over. Look at the start for Virtus.Pro. Pistols finding 2, AK grab for Pasha. And they have a man advantage, but Pasha's dropped said AK. Snacks now has to wield it instead. If I'm not mistaken, Snacks as well is down at the bottom of that stairwell, leaving the A side open and with only Neo on that site. However, Kinguin's gone the other direction, so Spiro's kill was much desired as he takes down Bialy inside of the site, flashes and smokes off toward the bags as well. Knows they're going to be that direction, but Snacks goes in with the AK anyway. Mouse takes him down to the grave, and it's going to be Mouse to follow that up, but he's still got problems because Neo's chasing him down. He has bomb, and his teammate is well removed from the action. And it's only 28, so that P250 could have worked. However, he gets away, at least for now, 47 seconds, and Neo's going to go hunting with the M4 picked up.
Yeah, the problem is Neo, one of the scariest players to be up against in these sort of scenarios.
He could catch him as well. His teammate's already inside of the A site calling clear. Neo's rotated in the perfect position to go mid. But Mouse is smart to go long because he knows that means Neo could likely have done so. It takes the threat away, at least for now. The problem is the timing inside of the site right now. Rollins gone back toward the stairs, which means Neo's going to hear Mouse coming down from long any second. The jump will confirm that. He's just sitting in waiting. Bomb goes down, 16 seconds, just has to get in a safe position. He knows as well that Rollins likely inside the site, hence why the call was made to rotate, and a nice clutch back from Neo in the end.
Just perfect. Every single time. He just knows exactly what he's going to do. You can see his entire thought process playing out there. He gets information. He hears the footsteps towards long. Time ticking away. It's likely to be the bomber as well. Nails that last shot, and he gives VP another lifeline there. 9-6 in favor of Kinguin. Second half certainly will be interesting. We'll take a quick break. Do not go anywhere.
Again, things seem to be off-kilter inside of the Pro League. It's Virtus.Pro that trail early on. A decent bit of momentum in the middle portion of the half, but it's 9-6 for Kinguin.
Yeah, they're looking hot right now. It's the T side as well, doing a decent job, getting 9 rounds out. He did win the pistol, and a very interesting half. Quite unorthodox, I have to say. It was around 9/10 we saw the first AWP come out. Very rare on Overpass, but still an exciting game. We did say Kinguin, a lot of firepower in this Polish force, and the home derbies are always very interesting. Last time these guys met, it was Team Kinguin walking away 2-0 with some big leads as well. And there's a second blue balloon, Matthew.
Someone must have blown it up in warm-up. That's what happened.
Well, there you go.
Did you know that the bottles were standing up and then fell over? Too? No, I swear. Can we reset the map?
Yeah.
Reset. I swear that's what happened.
I think we are live. So let's stop the nonsense and get into it. It will be Spiro going aggressive there towards middle, but VP are going to be hunting him down with those Glocks, using the smoke to take the vision away from the CTs. Pasha not wasting any time hunting for intel here. It looks like they'll be going very quickly indeed. They might slow the pace down a little bit here. They were trying to strike on the CTs. They were pushed maybe a little bit past their comfort zone at that stage. So let's have a quick look at the buy while we're there. So Kinguin, they got 4 sets of armor, 1 smoke and a kit. That's maybe a little bit of ninja defuse potential there, getting on that smoke on the bomb and then trying to do what you can. And in terms of VP, they've got 1 smoke remaining and 2 flashbangs, but they have got the long control in the form of Pasha Bicep. So he'll be trying to show pressure towards that side of the map, but he's not giving in just yet. As I say that, though, Snack strikes, of course, taking down Spiro.
Success to start. All in though with the pistols, going to try and look long. P2000 for him. The US dash P. Hyphenated P. So looking toward bathrooms. Lovely shot from Snacks. That's why you do not want him to pick up a USP silence in the pistol round, because he's going to punish you all with it. Furlan goes down as well. Taz will wrap back. Nose bombs clear to be planted. He'll take the safety of just going around the backside of the boxes, even though that smoke is down. It's a pistol round. People can push through, and missed shots can cost quite a bit of deer security in that sense as Pasha starts to look back toward the stairs. Mouse will hit him. It's still a decent situation. There is a kid up. Mouse has recovered that early. 1 versus 3 now for Mouse, because his teammate Mihu looked to the left, anticipating someone to be close. They weren't, and it's Virtus.Pro again to close out this round. And I say again, they did not win the first pistol, but they did win the last of the first half.
Well then, Virtus.Pro, it's going to be Snacks, of course. Like he said, once he gets that silenced USP, he can get absolutely godlike. And he manages to find 3 kills. You can see him getting aggressive. They wanted the 4th, but you kind of hit those kind of shots in a pistol round. You get that confidence. You feel untouchable. That's why he wants to keep going for it. Why not? He's hitting those kind of monstrous shots. Might as well see if he can keep going. But it's going to be a force buy in return. Not necessarily sure I agree with that one from Kinguin. We saw how that damaged VP going forward. You have a lack of utility, you don't have the AWP, and certainly when you're the underdog with a lead like this, I would say maybe just try and focus on the gun rounds here. But they're going to go for it with the CZs, PD50s, and a flashbang as well. No kits, it's not a heavy investment. It's not a full force, but I think they have a little bit of residual cash. So yeah, Miles, he's got $1,000. A couple of the other guys with 400 as well. So it's a bit more than a full investment. We'll see what happens here as we get into round number 2. 2 AKs for Virtus.Pro, 3 UMPs. Big talking point of CSGO right now, Matt. Those UMPs seem to be a common trend right now. Some players can use them almost like rifles in certain situations.
Well, you know, we always need something to complain about. It's been a while since we've had something desperately broken.
It's not like it's just like they've been unearthed. People have realized the potential. Yeah. It's not like they've been buffed to a crazy amount.
I don't even think that it's been unearthed. I actually think there's some truth in what I said. There's been a lot of issues that have masked and become the priority, which becomes the focal point.
Yeah.
That have kind of masked the fact that they're so powerful. They've been that way for a while. 2 things happened. One is what I mentioned. There's nothing really masking it right now. And secondly, people have definitely grown accustomed to it and are using them more frequently. Nice flashback in as Furlan will take down Viali at Monster. He was alone on B, though, and he does discover that there's at least 2, in fact, 3 over toward that site. But Rollin, he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about being off on rotation points. He cares about kills alone. It's Pasha to pull them back. In a 3 versus 3, it's Furlan in behind the truck. Can't transition because there's a gap in the smoke, and Pasha's going to close up on that. Pasha closes with 4, and Taz gets 1 in between his last 2, and it's just a 1-point game.
Well. Virtus.Pro losing the first couple of frags there, but do recover in the end. The SMGs striking towards the A site, and Kinguin can't do anything about it. They managed to get a little bit more money for the kills they picked up there, $300 a piece, but actually it's a little bit less for the CZ, I beg your pardon. But it's round number 3 now, and it's pretty much a full eco. Miles brings out another CZ, a couple of USPs here and there, and a PT1000 for Allen. Not really much they can do. Most teams will stack towards B, maybe flash over, hope for the best, but they haven't even got that to work with. So just going to see if they can find a couple of kills here or there. Mouse will be pushing off towards short, but this is how you should be playing the anti-eco situations, holding back at the start, get a bit of map intel like Neo is doing just now, go towards long. That's the best place to go. Obviously, you've got the AK. There's no real reason as to why you can actually be taken down at this point. So, oof, Spiro, get out of there. Taking down to 6 HP to kick things off.
Spiro gets tagged out and then taken down in completion as he tries to get away to a safer place. There isn't one that exists. Pasha will start to work up the UMP. Tags go into him, but from far range, he now picks up a 5th kill in the last 2 rounds. And keep in mind, all of those were on the UMP. So Pasha, he's rolling in it right now. 5,300 going into the next round. It's only Miles remaining at the bottom of connection point.
Yeah,
so it's at the bottom. He's on the stairs, but
3250 on top of that as well. He'll be rolling in cash for the next round. So very likely, considering he died this round as well, to bring out the AWP. Like I said, the CTs certainly can afford one. It might be glass cannon though. I think we've got one player who's got a bit more cash than the other. I think it was Miles who said a bit more, maybe Mihu. But they should better get a glass cannon regardless. And this is the problem with those force by in the second round. That's why I say I make a point. When you're the underdogs and you have that sort of advantage, I'd rather win the game in the gun rounds and taking a chance in those second rounds and trying to get the force by wins. Sure, they can work out, but for me, like as an in-game leader, I think that's the way the game's going to be slowly shifting towards, trying to save that money going in the big gun rounds, especially on the CT side. But there we go. Mouse for the CZ. If he can save that AK, that would be tremendous for him. That would actually help repair the damage done in that second round.
Snacks doesn't really want to let him do that, though, does he, Henry? Because he's already chasing down, and that's also funneling him back over toward where Neo wants to go. Oh, I say that. I actually misread. I thought Neo was on the corner at Fountain. He's down below. But he'll get on his horse to get quickly at the top of mid-connection, and the aim punch clearly a factor as Mao's shot to the stars, but again, won't be joining Astralis. He's stuck in Virtus.Pro's B team.
Well, last time these guys met, he did beat them. So, you know what? He doesn't mind. So this is the problem I'm talking about. You can see no kits at all for the CT side. They do have grenades, but no AWP. And as we kind of predicted, Pasha, of course, goes down with a lot of money. He spent 7 grand in this round, picks up the AWP and gets all the grenades required as well. So they're going to have the advantage going forward here. Once again, when you notice he's coming in, maybe Kinguin decided to go a little bit aggressive here, but they're actually going to be holding back. I think Chad touched on this in the pre-game. They're quite a passive team on the CT side. We'll see whether they actually decide to show their hand with any sort of boost or anything, but for now, it's going to be quite an open map for VP. They don't have to expend too much utility, and long is completely open as well. So flash goes over. No confrontation to speak of whatsoever, and that's going to be great for them. At this point, another flash can be used. Pasha maybe boost himself into flower beds. Wants to clear out long as well. Full execution going to be a real potential here.
Definitely is. Taz has already cleared out the close corner as well to make sure there's no one that can catch them off. Furlan's playing the same position we saw Pasha play on round 2 in this gusset on the side. And they aren't going to check it. Taz, gun barrel showing. Again, he goes early, though, and it's an immediate trade. It is common that the second player's in obligation is often to check the off angle, so Neo may have spotted him either way. But sometimes you have to wonder if those plays can materialize, if at least he can get a shot into Neo knowing he's there. But either way, it doesn't matter. He's gone. The situation's behind us. It's water under the bridge.
It's nuts how overlooked that tight corner seems to be almost every single time we see. You think, sure, they're going to check it this time. But the thing is, you've got so many angles to check on the site. Sometimes it's worth taking the risk to get that entry kill. You're sneaking in. It's unlikely the CD's going to be there. So you understand the reasoning behind it. Bialy, he's towards B by himself. And that's a massive problem now. It's a 4-on-2. Bialy has control of the site. And Pasha just continues to apply the pressure here. Another AWP shot coming in him. And a clean sweep for VP. Just losing one player there. Looked very comfortable throughout. And you can see Kinguin there. No AWP themselves. No kits, never looked comfortable there. Very passive round, and VP full default, get that long control, find the picks, trading successfully, and Bialy just a thorn in their side towards B. He's so good at that, times it to perfection as well. He finds the kill, stays alive. CDs have no idea what's going on, and it will be another eco. It's Virtus.Pro take the lead, 10-9 on the terrorist side here. The CZs, P250s, couple of flashbangs. This is what I was talking about. These rounds are quite common. You want to be normally throwing a stack towards B, maybe trying to split towards their sewers area, flash over, and Mouse with this flash in his hand right now. See if they can catch Bialy with his pants down, but right now he'll be towards T-spawn, holding it very passively. They know the pistol's going to be in hand for Kinguin. I've got to say the poles, but this is, of course, the pole.
Doesn't really work.
No, it does not work whatsoever.
Furlan wants the shot so dearly with the deagle. My favorite in that regard was when Robert Kubica qualified pole in Formula 1. It was the pole on pole.
That was my favorite.
Flash in, trying desperately to take down Spiro. Will do so with the AK, but has to watch out for Roland rotating back in as he catches Taz. Robert Kubica, probably the second best driver of the modern era, despite his injury. Fernando Alonso being the best, of course. It's Mihu catches Pasha. Lovely headshot, low HP as well. That's bombed down. He's done decent work because there's a gun there as well. Mihu's got an AWP, and Furlan's just taking out stacks, leaving Bialy to try and clutch this back. Mihu on that op has brought it back down toward the connector as well, which means he can start to watch off where Bomb is with it more effectively. And Furlan's timing, despite being low on HP, could be everything. And Bialy's not going to check that, leaving him alive in the equation for late as well. Without the information, the confrontation I expected to happen. The crosshair placement was almost perfect if we looked at it. But Bialy's got to solve this riddle of an AWP, and it's just gone around the corner. It peeks back out, and a well-won round from Team Kinguin.
Well, there it is. Mihu with 3 kills there. P250 were looking tremendous there towards the bathroom. Drops the bomb, picks up the AWP as well, and his teammate watching his back. So it looked a little bit scary at Bialy's position, but Mihu turns around just in time with the AWP and gets Kinguin back in this game. That was an eco win for them and ties things up at 10-10. They go to the double AWP setup now, and it's going to be an AWP out for Pasha as well, but double AWP, very interesting this map. Means you can have one static AWP like the turret towards long, and someone a little bit more dynamic. Go towards Monster Tunnel, push off towards short. Spiro, like I said, he'll be towards that long A position, and Mihu, he's that more dynamic role. Actually running through the flames there, which is actually quite an audacious move. You can see how much damage that actually cost him. Looking towards connector now, but not going to find anything just yet.
No, indeed not. It's a shot from Spiro. Taz running directly into it. Dodges out the flash as well. It was thrown a little bit late to when the peak was, so it was a free shot. Watch me. Oh, on the other side, timing. Was it Crouch that caught him off? Because I think he stood and it just got caught off by the edge of the tunnel. As such, it's gone back to a 4 versus 4. Pasha's still looking for another shot, an additional shot in behind the APC at Bank. That covered off by Spiro. His crosshair placement had the head lined up, but not fast enough in that sense. In that situation, and Spiro inside of the site with 2 kills now. The only 2 for his team will back away. His job done. No need to overcommit. They can't give away this lead.
Yeah, well, he's got the 4-on-3. No real reason to face out once again. Time ticking away as well. Allow VP to make the next move at this stage. So Rylan, though, he's in towards Connector as well. But Bialy, these are the important players right now. Rylan and Bialy. Who's going to strike first? And Bialy in a perfect position. Gets the headshot as well. Opens up that B side. There it is. Like I said, these 2 players, very important indeed. They go toe-to-toe just then. Now a 2-on-2.
He's going to scoop the bomb up as well on his way back over toward the B side. It's Furlan inside of it. Oh, timing is everything. Spots it coming in from the sandbags, but looks away. And this gives room to Virtus.Pro inside of the site. Snacks up close. Makes no mistake, absolutely obliterating his opponent with the AWP, and he'll do the same to the opposition op as Spiro goes down on arrival.
Down to Bialy and Snacks. It was Bialy's position, like I was pointing out. Though they were the really key players in that position. As soon as Bialy knows he has to make something happen there, waits for the CD to make a mistake, nails that first shot. B side is open, and his teammates rotate in. A little bit of confrontation there. 2-on-2 situation, but that shot from the Snack, the headshot from the AWP was just absolutely stellar. And it will be 11-10, a back and forth game, and with no loss bonus accumulated. And Kinguin only finding 1 round this half so far. They will be force buying into this fully. 2 M4s, some pistols, a couple of smokes to work with, but it's a bit of a desperate buy here. Might as well see if they can once again do something with the CZs. Worked out before. That's pretty much the only round they've picked up so far. Well, indeed, the only round is with the Deagles and the pistols. So it's a better buy. Maybe it'll work out again.
Furlan waiting to try and flash straight up and use the trunk of the tree to disguise it on its flight pattern. What is this, Rollin? I want whatever boots he's wearing. Never mind Yeezys. Those are way sexier because they just keep him alive inside flames, apparently. As he peeks out, Snacks expects that to be completely empty, vacant of anyone. I'll have to review it and question how to throw that again, or maybe make sure it goes deeper next time because it gets taken down. It is traded back, inevitably, but I do like it.
Here we go. It's starting to get interesting now. Furlan finds the kill on Pasha as well. The AWP going down. They have the man advantage, and they might be able to recover a weapon as well. Good flashbang utilization there from the CTs. Nice synergy. Miles getting flashed in by his teammate. Doesn't find anything, but it works out. There's no terrorist occupancy there for now. So, Furlan, he has got the rifle in the correct position as well, delaying them as he smokes off towards long A.
And he's going to go back to the spot? No. Okay, good. I wouldn't dare try and use that twice. Instead, take advantage of his smoke awareness. Try and use the gap, but a flash comes through it. Doesn't expect that. Taz running from his teammate Snacks as he pops through, takes down his opponent, but then gets caught out by Spiro, leaving it just to Neo. No flash in. Immediate shots. Actually trying to catch them off before that flash bloom, but Spiro holds true, and we go to 11-11.
Well, the force buy works out. There was 2 M4A4s, some CZs, P250s, and somehow Kinguin, it works out for them. Like you said, that Molotov at the start was pretty crucial. If Neros finds that first player, gets them out of position, there's no trade there, they have the man advantage, they more than likely win that round. That's a real small nuance that actually is really vital there to allow them to get that first frag. And then Kinguin, they can actually make those rifles work. Pasha goes down the AWP towards long by himself. He's forced to almost commit at that point, needs to get the frag back in their favor. And at that point, Virtus.Pro give it away, and he can see, well, you can't see, but I can see the money is a little bit lower now, but it's going to be a match pause. So, tactical pause. For VP, I'm assuming. This is an online game match, so we can't go into too much detail as to the buys and everything like that, like we normally do, because you never know who's listening, you know? You've got to be careful on CS.
I'm always listening, Henry, and so I am part of both Anonymous and Illuminati, so yeah, I would be careful if I were you.
Yeah, it's just for anyone who's wondering what to talk about. Normally at LAN, obviously in booths, I have soundproof headsets, and we can talk about the buyers and I can speculate as to what they're going to do. I don't do that as much on online because I don't want to give anything away. We need to make sure it's completely fair for everyone, you know. But it will be the unpause coming in, and we are back into it. So it will be an eco coming from VP. They're going to have PG-50s here. Desert Eagles, smoke, and a flashbang. And Neo's got a little Molotov as well. So maybe they've got a tiny execution ready for us. See if they can get anything going. And no AWP available for Kinguin this time. They have got AKs, M4s, and Furlan. He's running the economy quite nice. He picks up the SMG. He'll be the one being a little bit more aggressive. There he is towards short. Trying to get that first frag and see if he can farm a bit of extra cash there with the lesser weaponry.
Furlan, meanwhile, throws out a smoke towards sandbags, which has an atrocious gap that I could fit a transport truck through, but given the angle, 90 degrees on entry, it doesn't really reveal that much as Snack starts to walk in with a P250. Well, we'll try and hold him off with an M4, a couple of nades, but in throwing the nades, they allow Snacks up close. That doesn't really amount to much. aside from a bit of damage, the nades do get one kill in the end as they doubled them down. It's all on Pasha, nice dink. It's a nice sound, isn't it, when you hear that helmet dink? It's very rewarding. Unfortunately, when you exactly well, that and if you see the kill feed show up right after, if you see the name arrive in your top right screen.
So then, we go into round number 9. It's just been a very back and forth game. It was Kinguin opened things up, looking very strong. Virtus.Pro have closed the gap, but some chance rounds from Kinguin there. The pistol victories and then the force buy wins as well have got them in a situation where they can almost taste the lead at this point in terms of the victory, but it will be another interesting buy from Virtus.Pro. 4 AKs, Snacks with the UMP. Very limited in terms of utility, but let's see what Snacks can do with the lesser weaponry. He's going to be going towards Connector right now. Challenged by Furlan once again. This will be an early exchange, but Mouse is there to back him up. And Taz ripping things up, takes down Mouse. And maybe going to assume they're going to go towards the B side at this point. You see the bomb towards Monster. And that's smoke to lock down any rotations there.
Taz going to sit tight at sandbags. Furlan searching desperately with the UMP. Taz actually walks right in. He doesn't even spot him, so he's able to take one down. Not been traded yet. There's a second player in the site. Taz has somehow been able to avoid it the entire time. Turns back and catches Spiro, who could not get the angle. This will allow Neo in, and smartly he plants behind Pillar because they know they do not have water control. What they don't know as well is, oh, there it is. I was going to say that Furlan's going the direction that Bialy's trying to go as well, and didn't have his gun ready. I thought it might have been awkward, but he does get the kill in the end.
VP give Kinguin a taste of their own medicine there. 4B and one lurking towards long A. It's Pasha this time. Just as they show their presence towards the B side, Pasha strikes at A, finds a kill as well, and Taz doing a lot of good work. That perfect timing towards the B side. Finds players, backs turned towards him, and it will be a very, very crucial round indeed going forward. It's 12-12. Money's a breaking point for either side. I think Virtus.Pro probably have one buy in hand, considering that was quite a clean round, but this is going to be Kinguin now. Miyu taking a lot of damage. I think he must have pushed through the fire once again. He has indeed towards shore. And it's going to be Neo striking first, and an equal exchange as Furlan takes down Pasha in return.
Snacks looking for an opportunity to get the shot and peek out toward Furlan behind the tree. Will do so with aid of Pasha, who threw the flash and then also peeked alongside of it. What a door opening shot by Miyu. Opened and shut case. Court dismissed.
Yep, well, he's got control of B as well. Look how locked down that is. He's looking towards T-spawn. He's got to play a connector as well. And he can probably say to his teammates, you know what, I'm confident enough to stay B by myself. Let's see what Spiro can do. He's baited in towards that flower bed position. You can see his teammate Mouse on the minimap right now, presumably be at APC. Just going to take a couple of pop shots there and see whether he can actually allow his teammate to be baited in. That's a one and done position, but if you have backup of your teammate like Snap Mouse is going to do, maybe you can get a couple more. Comes down to the real tight timings here.
Let's wait for the timing. Exactly that, as you mentioned, to fall to favor.
They smoke him out, though. That's a problem. They smoke out where Mouse's position is right now.
Can't bait his teammate in.
That
it happened to
horrible.
Pasha in the first half. There it is. First couple shots. Tries to bait, but it's not deep enough. It's not far enough. Mouse does make up for it with a long shot onto Snacks. And given that Spiro did hit the first shot, it actually does favor them in trades. They know as well where Neo is, coming in with 15 HP. And Mouse is relocated to cover off default. Just needs to hit one shot. Neo knew where he was inside of that smoke, but couldn't land it.
That's actually really intelligent there from Spiro. Do you know why? Because as he gets a call that the smokes are going over the top, he strikes straight away. VP aren't going to be aware. They haven't checked that position. As soon as they throw the smokes, he runs around the corner there. They're not going to be ready to take shots at that point. They're not going to be free-firing angles. They're just be getting their guns back out, ready to actually make the next move. Maybe with the knives as they're going forward to the bomb side there. He gets one. That's what he has to do. His teammates there able to spray them down as they're a little bit kind of caged at that stage. And it will be 13-12 as Kinguin take the lead once again. It's going to be a deagle for Snacks, 4 AKs. No one giving in and taking the full eco just yet. As Taz wants to go through this fire, flashes through, and it's going to be perfect. Oh, yeah. It doesn't get much better than that.
No, nearly catches the player jumping in behind Bags as well. Smoke will now go down over toward the monster side. That's going to allow Bialy to work his way into the site. Taz himself is smoked off, but another massive gap in the smoke. He's going to realize it as well because he goes on the investigation and also can tell based on the radius of that. You're looking at that shot from Snacks to take down Roland, but the radius of that smoke that it obviously wasn't far enough as it's deep inside of the fence.
Yeah, that was a rattling shot. Close range for Snacks in the connector there. I think we heard it.
Around the world.
Yeah. Yeah, well, 5-on-3 now, and we have got an incendiary, but not really much CD can do. This is a big round for them. It will mean an eco if they lose it. They want to save the weaponry at this point, but Spiro gives them a lifeline. He gets a kill at least, but he takes quite a lot of damage. Down to 12 HP he goes.
Mouse, gun barrel shown, Shadow as well. Knows Taz is there, tries to relay that information in time to Furlan, but he can't get a peek in. comes over to hold off Monster in an attempt not so much to keep the VP players from killing him from Monster, but to hold them at base so he can peek again onto sandbags, and Furlan's been able to buy that space and make it work regardless, even without the utility in doing so.
That was a 5-on-3 at one point, and Furlan going absolutely massive there. I was speculating at one point they have to maybe consider saving those weapons, and it's that one kill from Spiro. Like we said, goes down to 12 HP, funnels him towards B. That's where they've got 2 CTs waiting as well. Perfect crossfire positions, and we're going to have to take another tactical pause at this point. Virtus.Pro up against it. Their money's going to be weak. Kinguin's well aware of that now, and they're in touching distance of taking the first map, and indeed this series, if you want to look at it that way, each map contributes towards the league, I should say. And right now, money is not in a good situation. Kinguin, they get this time as well to work out how can we make sure we don't throw this scenario away. Let's at least guarantee overtime. We know their money. It's not going to be in a great state. They've only got second stage loss bonus, so that means at best, $1,900, maybe 2K across the board. We know they forced ball into the last round, they had one player to Deagle, so this is looking very good for them right now. They don't necessarily have to go all in. They don't have to get everything required. They don't necessarily need an AWP or 5 M4s. They can bring a UMP to the party as well. Do Virtus.Pro force buy into this round, Matt? That's the big question. I mean, the pause comes in, so I guess we can jump back into it now, and I'll have a look at the buy, and it's going to be Taz. He's only purchased a P250. They will be going for the more conservative option. That's almost guaranteeing Kinguin overtime at this point. So that's actually really positive for them. I'll smoke for the CTZ, take vision away from Monster Tunnel, and they will be getting a little bit aggressive here as well. The AWP has been purchased from Spiro.
Quick pre-fire from me, who is rolling as well as out in the front of the bathrooms. Backing away, he hits a shot, but his teammate Furlan is tagged onto 21. The number 21. Featuring Jim Carrey. It's a bit scary as Taz will take down Rollin. That's a nice shot from Spiro. I was going to say things are going to get scary if Virtus.Pro continue to advance upon the site. Such a strong march, but a lovely shot from the AWP. Bialy does get Furlan in the end, but Spiro still on this AWP. As you say, looks to guarantee overtime. Careful not to trip over his teammate and take his backside off, but there it is, the 15th round for Kinguin.
Well, a lot of pressure towards Virtus.Pro, but we've seen some tremendous comebacks from these guys in the past. The major against North springs to mind recently on Cobblestone. Let's see whether they can do the same again to their own countrymen here. 15-12, 1 round required for Kinguin to take Overpass, 3 in a row to get us to overtime. Certainly possible with Virtus.Pro. That challenge. We'll see what happens here. Round number 13. We're going to have 5 AKs. And we set it to the conservative option, allowing themselves to get a nice full buy here. And Spiro with the AWP aggressive. He wants to be the one that shuts this down and find that first frag. Same booster Pasha was using, swing towards middle. Going to get all the information, gives the position away, and that could be to his detriment there. Taz actually takes advantage of that. I'm not really sure why he's firing. He hasn't got anyone backing him up there. This almost commits suicide. That's kind of nuts that he did that.
Ends up 2, but 2 peeking in return means Taz gets the shot on Rollin. They're going to start to rotate the bomb back over toward the A side of the map. Furlan's going to be the first to arrive to get back in position to try and wrap this up. Another 5 versus 3 for Virtus.Pro. Last time we saw this, you made mention of it at the end of the round. It was actually converted by Kinguin. It started off by getting, therefore, the next pick. It doesn't happen this time. It goes to 5 versus 2, and Pasha, taking Furlan down, is going to open up an alleyway that governs his entrance toward the site. Not only that, Mouse goes to the wrong side of that objective, and it's now Mihu in versus 5, and I say this goes 15-13, but I'm not a betting man, Henry.
I know you're not.
Still beating you in fantasy.
Is that a bet?
It's similar form.
Yeah, well, it's still the last gameplay today of Fantasy League, so I've still got my night. My NA boys are going to prevail. I'm feeling it today.
I believe you.
We'll see what happens. At least Sydney Underground are winning. That's all I'm going to say.
That is true.
As usual.
Wow, it's true.
15-13, Virtus.Pro do pull one back. I have to say that, Matt, that's a really weird round for me. The AWPer, he's there. He's vulnerable, right? His smoke's just about to dissipate. He's got a full back. He fires off a shot. Taz has already made his way in connector. It's almost a free kill at that point. You know he can't shoot for 1.5 seconds. So he was like, okay, well, he's got no one here. I'm just going to go and kill him. And we didn't have any awareness that could be a possibility. We said we wanted to eradicate risk there. Just finish the game off. And unfortunately, Spiro gives that frag away, and now they're on an eco. Very likely to get to overtime at this point. So they have P250 CZs, Snacks with the AWPers as well, and towards connector, waiting for someone to walk in his crosshair, and that could be a high possibility, but he decides to fall back.
Spiro and Rollin together, stacked with pistols. 2 is better than 1. And as such, they find a kill. The two of them combining to take down Bialy, but that's traded back by Taz. So no chance to grab the weapon or the advantage in the round, as Snacks will find Furlan and Mihu and Mouse. Eminem gonna try and sit back and wait for this one to end, I think, because Mouse just gets assassinated. Mihu get clever, maybe he can grab a gun. Mihu's already on the case.
Nothing really to report in that round, Matt. It's all leading to this moment. Round number 30. Fully came from Kinguin before, so trying to put all their eggs in this round. We'll see what happens as we go into a situation where we've got a double orb set up on the T side. A bit of a Hail Mary play from VP to finish things off here. Pasha and Snacks, they do this on a lot of maps, to be fair, and it does have a lot of success. It's certainly not traditional Counter-Strike, but we'll see what works for them here. And Snacks goes towards the connector once again, and his teammate Pasha will be toward long. Waiting for any sort of aggression coming at the start. Spiro back in the AWP himself. These are the interesting duel at the start. These weapons designed to open up the map for either side, as Snacks patiently waits towards the connector. Doesn't find anything, will be falling back once again. You can see the CT buy though, no kits, no incendiaries, only 2 smokes remaining. They're relying on firepower alone here. So a rough round for them, and I would say at this point, looking very likely to go towards overtime.
Pasha gonna flash himself out toward long, waits for it to bloom, jumps around, make sure he can bait out any shots going toward him, and that's gonna allow his teammates to advance. He now can sit like Brady and be better than that guy in the Atlanta Falcons as he lets his teammates push up long.
That guy.
Yay, American football. American football's a good band, at least. Spiro is going to sit on the other side of the bathrooms with his AWP. The X-Ray was leading because I thought they were walking into that direction. Instead, they're playing outside of the bathrooms themselves. He's got a small pixel gap to play off of, but he's curious as to where he's going to be approached from. And he misses the shot when it's presented. Has to hit that. You said it might go to overtime, and now he's confused, overwhelmed, and a little bit lost as his decision-making crumbles in a panic. It allows Taz to find the opening pick. And we're all in. He's going to start to push up toward long to try and compensate for that, but Pasha finds him. Mihu, the best chance to equalize things, gets found as well. Retake already unsuccessful in its first attempt. And 15-15 has itself written all over the walls. Bomb down, 1 player left. Mouse spraying desperately and taking that fight with Neo, which he doesn't win in the first place, also was allowing a flank for Pasha.
Well, it was 15-12, but there it is. Virtus.Pro, the kings of comebacks there. And I have to say, Spiro looked a little bit out of his depth towards the end there, trying to finish things single-handedly to begin with, then looking caged. He couldn't decide whether he wanted to go aggressive or sit back and be passive. It's the worst of both worlds. Caught with his knife out, couldn't really do too much about it.
So, decent comeback from Virtus.Pro. A small one considering some of the ones we've seen from them throughout this year. And that means we go to MR3 overtime, 10K.
Yeah, that's going to be gutting for Kinguin. 15-12, 3 rounds to finish it off as well, and a round where VP had next to nothing, had AKs and a Deagle, and just those kind of small mistakes, like I was pointing out before, Spiro, the AWP. I feel like if you're going to go passive, let's just sit right back there. You know the money's a little bit weak, and then gives his frag away, and it felt like he was panicking towards the end there a little bit. But still, all reset. You need to just kind of take this time. At land, you give him 5 minutes at this sort of point, but I think we'll have a little bit of less of waiting time in an online game. But still, you have to just work out what you're going to do to finish this one off. And of course, like Lauren mentioned on the desk, it's Lord is the coach for Kinguin. Very familiar with the Virtus.Pro players back in the day. I'm sure he'll be kind of picking up the young lads up and just working out what went wrong towards the end there. Like, we haven't really seen too much in terms of like raw aggression. And we saw Mihu trying to push towards short a couple of times, getting a shot towards Monster Tunnel, but we haven't really seen a lot of like heavy long presence or anything like that. Maybe
do you know why there are no red balloons on the map?
Don't know. Go on.
And nothing. See, told you the bottles fall.
It falls over, yeah, you're right.
Nailed it.
Well, riddle has been solved.
It's like the 3 little bears.
Is it?
Who
How
knocked
is it?
over the beer bottles?
How is that anything like the 3 little bears?
Well, the porridge, someone's eaten mine.
Yeah.
Someone's laid in my bed, etc. someone's drank all of my beer, which are in public.
Right.
Maybe they're Fritz Cola, because this is in Germany.
Yeah, we had that today.
Well, mine's actually still sitting
Other
over there.
cola is available.
I have pomegranate waiting for me. Do you know there's a dragon lore sitting down inside of that park?
I can see that now, yeah.
I still want Valve to do the skin. The dragon lore from Cobblestone and the dragon from the park, which we can see the flowers on top of the mural just over top of the wall, top right of picture. To do that skin, that skin's amazing. As we look back at some of the highlights, that was where they stacked up with the pistols inside of lower when they were on 15 to 13, excuse me, and unfortunately Taz came in and traded them both back, so therefore couldn't grab a gun off of that situation. But 15-15 is where we sit. They do manage to put this in overtime. Now, regulation overtimes do have some effect. It's not like, you know, NHL or NBA where you get a point for going to overtime, but round differential does play a factor at the end of the year, should head-to-head and such not rule any equation. There's still something to gain from that.
Yeah, sure. Well, if anyone's not familiar with the rules, like Matt said, MR3 10K. CTs with a disadvantage in terms of the money. If you lose that first round as a CT, and especially you get like a double AWP set up there, you're going to be very limited. It could end up on pistols, even though you started with 10K in that first round. So you need to be very careful with your investments. A lot of CT teams won't even buy head armor, which is a wise decision. You don't want to buy a single set of head armor. It's very unlikely Terra's going to buy an SMG. You want to make sure you keep your money as strong as possible. Maybe even you get 2 or 3 kits, just to make sure you're not spending. That's the thing with CSGO. Like back in the day, the kits were $200. Now they're $400. So it's still an expensive part of the game. That's why sometimes it's a struggle to get them on the gun rounds. You need to work out what's going to be more important to you, defusing the bomb quickly or denying entrance to the bomb site with something like a smoke. We've got a small delay here. We'll work out what's going on. Should be underway. If you're just joining us, this is the first game of the final evening of week 1. It's Kinguin versus Virtus.Pro. It's the Polish derby. Up next, we do have GT versus Envious, the super team, go up against the not so super team. I guess like the best of what's remaining.
I'm not. I get it's the French dream team.
Yeah.
I'm not crediting the name super team to anyone. I'm sorry.
I think if you were going to assemble a team, I think because it's called a super team, we've got Shoxy and Kenny finally together. That's the point,
I
right?
think it's amazing.
Yeah.
But again, that's a dream team to me. A super team has to win.
They are, of course.
Everything.
Yeah, on paper, I think we're referring to. I mean, obviously, they did some kind of qualifiers and got a couple of games there. I haven't really been setting the world on fire just yet, but obviously very, very early days indeed. I won't be making my judgment until I see them on land. That's what I want to see. And whether that kind of combination of Kenny and Shoxy comes to fruition, that would be so sick if those guys both go off in a big game. That would be very good to watch. A lot of formations and rosters moving around today. Obviously, Nico, another big signing being made. He's been in mouse FaZe for a long time and had a massive buyout reportedly on his head. And FaZe have gone ahead and bought it.
Not the first time FaZe has been after Nico, and finally now with an in-game leader, perhaps they smell success and will do anything at all costs to get it. We'll get to this in a minute because we're getting into the game, but well, we'll get to the game rather, but the first time they reportedly wanted him was when Kiyoshima joined. He was the second choice. That was after MLG Columbus when they removed Micah Lele from the lineup. They actually did want Nico. That was first choice. It was $1 million is apparently what Mouse demanded because they never set a clause in his contract for buyout, so they could literally make up whatever they wanted, locking him into ELO hell for months to come. Now, whatever the agreement was, whether it was lower, I think it was, from what I understand. I don't know what the price was. They've agreed to it, so he will go on to a lovely team known as FaZe.
There you go. The buyers come in. Kinguin, like I said, 3 players are ahead on there. It's going to be Spiro with the AWP and Pasha back on the AWP himself. No one giving me a heavy tell us what's coming in just yet. Taz stops that short push. He's made his way towards that connector. Neo going to be joining him as well. There's been a lot of combats in this area, so let's make sure that's clear for now. And we'll see where this leads them to. Pasha has been the one backstabbing towards Long A. He has got the AWP. He's in that position for now. He's on his screen. There he is. And Furlan, we're waiting towards the bathroom. Spiro, though, he's been a little bit shaky in these last few rounds. And he's going to be just concentrating towards Long. This is a nice turret position for him. Just nailed the shot. Don't have to think too much. We'll see what happens here. He does get smoked out. Does he step in front of it? Definitely an option. Could just pull the trigger right now.
Oh, that was close. You told him a little bit soon, Henry. He was listening, but not quite right. That would have been lovely, I have to say. Pasha could do the same thing in return, though. Second smoke going to go down. He'll start to line his up for the bank. He'll easily cover off a rotation and force Spiro to make a decision. Does he sit inside of that smoke or does he have to relocate? In relocating, knowing he can't have eyes on that position, he'll Molotov it off instead so they can't push through.
Well, about 25 seconds remaining. A very slow round for BP. Furlan opened things up, and it looks like it's going to be a Kinguin round, but Snacks fighting back. It should be the round going in their favor, but Snacks and Pasha doing some tremendous work now. 2-on-2, no bomb planted as of yet.
Snacks as well, taking damage from every possible direction. He's surrounded in its entirety. Pasha doesn't get to the window in time. And what a shot from Spiro to turn around and realize Pasha's above.
That was some high-flying work there from Spiro, jumping out of the heaven position with the silent USB. He knew he was low, just had to connect one of those bullets, but he finishes things off with the sniper rifle, nails both shots. A very impressive performance. Just as I called him out before, he finds some form here in overtime. So, nice work from him. 16-15 now. And it's going to be first to 19 in a screen above, so look out for that. Pasha, though, he's with the AWP again. Won't be able to get that weapon out if he loses this round. So this is big for VP. If King will get a 3-0, then an amazing position going forward as I finish the half on 18-15. Here we go, the Mouse once again pushing off towards short. There seems to be the favoured position of aggression from the CTs. Kinguin doing a lot here. Spiro once again towards long. He's looking more comfortable with that position, and then it's Mouse finding that first kill. Hard work done. They can fall back now. Spiro doesn't have to overcommit here.
Spiro with a line of sight toward the flower pot. Neo with intentions to get above. Head not shown. Hasn't jumped up yet. Smoke will encourage his decision to do so because Spiro won't have vision, and now they know he was there, so good choice to smoke it as he pre-fires in. Molotov in the front of bathrooms, one slight fractional damage of tick of damage, I should say, onto Furlan as they wait for this bathroom boost, and Bialy nearly steps into the open. It's going to be everyone, all hands on deck toward long from Virtus.Pro, which means not only they have to get inside of the site, they then have to almost double back and clear bathrooms immediately after. Because as we know, there's 2 players boosted there, so having the site alone is not enough. They'll be surrounded inside of it if they even get that far. Smokes out will allow them to at least evade bathrooms for now. Rollins aware of the fact that they've gone in that direction. So a nade thrown confirms that he's there, but does damage onto Virtus.Pro, and Neo tries to hug the wall to wait for Mouse to walk up from lower sight. Said he gets flashed in, looks the wrong direction, didn't quite see him the first time through, and he knew he had to make a move toward that background because unfortunately the front was occupied by counter-terrorists as well. It's all down to Pasha. 1 versus 4 and 2 losses in overtime. He's saving the op. He's going to be greeted though. He's not going to save this op at all. Nearly gave him a chance to hit the shot for Len, but down it goes.
That's a really key frag as well. Pasha saves the AWP. They have a real good chance at doing something this round. They can still buy around it. Now Pasha, after buying 2 in a row, he's actually been very limited indeed. Maybe someone can throw him a bone here. I think he's down to a Tech 9. Same story for Neo as well. So Kinguin looking in a very good position right now to get that 3-0. Just needing 1 round on the T side. After that, smoke is thrown towards Monster as we get into this one. That's actually quite a nice way to throw. I haven't seen it like that before. Normally you have to line up with a drain pipe and then run and throw it. That actually looks a little bit quicker. Maybe not as effective though, but here comes Taz, straight towards Shaw once again, trying to shut down that aggression that Mouse has shown. He'll be a lot more passive this time as we get into the final round here of the first half of overtime.
Shots raining through the boards from Furlan, getting ever closer onto Taz. He's going to relocate, change his angle, fire into the door. Still no damage dealt as Pasha's on 89. It's marginal at best. It's Furlan dancing inside of the site. He's trying to find his safest position where he feels most confident. Jump again when the permanent door is open. Snacks is standing on the inside of it, but doesn't necessarily equate to getting any damage done aside from information relayed. That'll slow the pace ever so slightly with 57 seconds still to work with. Taz knows exactly where to stand so as not to be found. Flash as well is going to drop back down. Flash goes over.
Well, we've got that man advantage right now, but the problem is VP still going to be limited. 2 pistols. That's going to be Pasha and Neo. No AWP to work with. Spiro, who has been great in overtime to be fair, over towards the A side, but here comes the commitment. It's down to Mouse now. Can he hold off this rush coming in from VP?
Waiting, gets the second as well with the bomb on the way through. Wow. That's his second individually as he finds Taz. It's all on a Neo. They're going to get swept in the first half of overtime. Kinguin going up 18-15. And as we said, MR310K, first to 19 wins it. They only need 1 more round. They'll have 3 chances in doing so.
Indeed, that's fantastic there from the underdogs, I would say at this point. Kinguin 3-0, 1 round required, and a lot of pressure applied to VP. I'm sure they'll take the maximum amount of time here just to work out what setup they'll take into the second half here. They can double AWP or go with those 5 rifles that were working pretty well for them in the early stages of regulation, but here we go then. Once again, the comeback required. They did it before. They were 15-12 down at one stage. Managed to string those 3 rounds together up against the odds, but much taller order here, much more pressure applied. Kinguin in the driving seat. It means they can be a little bit looser with their play style. They could go for some faster stuff. I didn't really see any rushes from Kinguin at all on their T side. Maybe let's go for a straight up B rush there. A lot of teams go for that contact play towards Monster. When I say contact, I mean sending 5 players at the start of the round, waiting for the initial grenades to come in, and you walk through a position like Monster Tunnel. As soon as you meet contact in terms of the opposition, that's when you burst into the bomb set there. You're using little utility, just using firepower, which Kinguin has a lot of, And that can be a very viable strategy in a round like this when you know that Virtus.Pro may be changing up the gameplay, maybe checking the double orb setup there or going aggressive towards middle, trying to find that first frag. That would be a great call to make at this point, in my opinion, considering you have that 3-0 lead. To try and finish things off with a little bit of an interesting approach, something you haven't tried before.
Well, they're going to have to try everything. Throw whatever you can at it. The duct tape, the super glue. A couple of bolts with a Phillips screwdriver.
Anything else? Kitchen sink?
Crocodile tooth.
Okay.
And anything that can't be taped can be hammered, so hit it a couple times as well. Snacks, nade, a little bit late to catch them. Transferring into Park, there was one player that straggled behind and thought about sparing up toward the party position. That was Spear on the op, but the nade doesn't go quite far enough to do any damage onto him either, so all for naught. They'll slowly rotate back and really haven't gone for much ground at this point, Kinguin. They're just waiting to see and anticipate if Virtus.Pro backs against the wall, they're going to get aggressive and try and dictate the pace. So very, very conservative. They literally just get to the edges of either side of commitment and wait to try and hit the shots.
Well then, very slow-paced game here for now. They're going to go for that map control. There is an orb waiting for them on the other side. That's going to be Pasha, though. Nails that first job. Mihu goes down. So, double orb setup working out for them. They can't afford to lose a single round, so money's not even an issue or a consideration right now. They will be falling back as they do have long control, though, in return for Kinguin. Spiro now presumably going up towards that flower bed. Maybe not, though. Molotov comes in. Will be simply rattling off a shot through the smoke there. Here it comes. Pasha on the other side there, close range angle for him.
Pasha looking again for additional kills. They're all there. Not quite on a platter, no one's peeking just yet, but they're going to go his direction. Snacks out in front of the bathrooms. I mean, Pasha's gonna have to hit a high pressure shot. High pressure shot indeed, and he nails it, nearly gets the no-scope as well. But more importantly, it's all Kinguin afterward, because him going down, we said it, Snacks was at bathroom, there was no one else to occupy the site, and Snacks was found to leave the default plant to commit. It's Neo now that has to rotate. Nice nifty, I like that smoke. Whether intentional or not, landing on top of the dumpster meant that Neo's legs would have shown if he got to the top of the stairs, so he had to wait the full duration before peeking, and when he peeks, Furlan's got him. It's all on to be alley flank, about to be flanked out. The prey, Predator, all in reverse and found by Spiro. It's done and dusted. First map goes to Kinguin. That's now 3 in a row for Kinguin over Virtus.Pro.
Very impressive stuff indeed. These home derbies always very interesting. It's going to be Kinguin coming out on top. If this is not a series on a best of 3 or in a best of 2, that contributes towards the league here. Cobblestone coming up next, but Kinguin looking actually very strong there. Overtime, much better than it was towards the end of regulation. Spiro finding some great form. There's some good opening picks, and it looked like a really nice little tight unit. So impressed overall, and VP gonna have to get themselves together if they want to take the next map.
Well, that said, if there's one man that does love a tight unit, it is Alex Machine Richardson. They're standing by, and the desk will break down our first map.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you very much. Henry G as well. Overpass going the way of Kinguin, and you can see that it wasn't necessarily an air of surprise from our casters as they did so. We knew it was going to be tight. We knew that here on the desk we said that doesn't matter who wins in the end, we knew it was going to be a close game. There wasn't going to be any stomping going on. I think that was your words, Chad. It was not going to be a one-sided affair, no matter who wins. And we got that. We got what we asked for, and Kinguin do close it out in the end. Now, the fun debate does begin, is who stood out? Who was the shining light that managed to bring that 19, of course, going full OT victory for Kinguin?
Spiro, obviously, with the orb, he was quite impressive.
How?
This bottle's under his, someone's like recycling underneath my desk.
Oh, okay, that explains it. That really explains it.
Yeah.
As a team stat for me, you've completely...
I'm so sorry.
Kinguin got the opening
Spiro,
frag 20 times, and they won 15 of those, which is quite a good stat. In the first half, it was very clean. You know, they were winning rounds when they were getting the opening pick, and VP just couldn't do anything. In the second half, when VP were on the T side, it was a lot messier. VP were getting the first kills, but then Kinguin was still able to hold the bomb sites on the CT side and make it very difficult for them. The fact that it went to overtime was very impressive from VP, but then it was just a stomp. You know, 4-0, that's pretty comprehensive.
It's kind of rare to see Kinguin do something like that. A lower tier team get forced into overtime from good VP and then just be completely unfazed.
Yeah, normally you see a little bit of a crumble happening, a bit of pressure
like,
gets
oh, no,
applied.
they did
And, yeah, but they had the longevity to go through. To me, it did display that you see a team who has time, right? A team like Virtus.Pro often gets very self-aware in the fact that they weren't able to refine everything they wanted to do, whereas in Kinguin's case, you've seen that they put so much time into the way they approach their T sides, quite execute-based, they seem very refined in the way they approach CS, and I quite like it. I feel it's a little bit unique, and it just shows that if you give these teams time to be able to come up through the, I guess, lower rankings, I guess,
Sure.
and then invest time into individual play, putting hours into learning these smokes, these plays, and just really getting their gameplay down, it's actually paid off really well for them here.
I mean, there was a real strong argument made after seeing the quality of the Counter-Strike over in the major,
yeah.
that time away from tournaments, away from traveling, does give you more beautiful Counter-Strike. You, as I'm sure as a player, can attest to that, Chad, that given more time to put into your team, the much more improvements we can see and the much more beautiful CS comes out.
Yeah, not only that, people don't know what you're going to do as well.
True,
I think on top of what Lauren was saying with the executes and being quite execute-heavy, a thing which I liked that Kinguin were doing is they had a lot of, I call them moves, right? So they get to positions on the map that they might not have thought they would get to otherwise, or something might have happened that had forced them into a different position. Right. They always seem to have a move. You know, they had a couple of set smokes they could throw and tie that in with a flash and a Molotov and make an execute out of nothing, which is very important to have. You need to be able to have these things. I would say you want to have at least, you know, maybe 5 to 7 moves on top of, you know, set executes and different defaults and stuff like that. And a lot of depth from Kinguin in that regard. Yep. It was impressive the way that they were able to play and stand up when they had to. It wasn't like they were just chipping away. They were when the bomb sites were hit and they were in 3v5 situations, they were sitting there and holding them with the less numbers and just making the frags they had to, which was good to see.
And that's the kind of final point we should make before our break, Poet, is that it was the fact that they were winning Angels. There was nothing more separating these two teams. There was, of course, you know, VP have depth and Kinguin displayed the same. So the win came from actually strong mechanical abilities coming in from Kinguin. Is there an argument towards that?
No, I think I was saying before that I think there's quite a lot of skill on the Kinguin team. You know, and the positives for Virtus.Pro is how long this team's been together and the experience they have. Whereas the positive for Kinguin is how hard that they're grinding and the skill level that these players can show. They can all stand up when they need to. We touched on Maus and Mihu in the pregame, but there it was Spiro playing quite well, you know, and Furlan as well was doing a good job. So everyone in this team can contribute, and that's why they're seeing success, I think.
Yeah, we'll see if they can find that success on Cobble.
Yeah, and just the last thing from me is as well that when you come into something like this, most of these teams won't look to Kinguin to look into them or research them as much. How much will they play against someone like this in comparison to their usual tier 1 teams? When you're Kinguin coming in, you look up and you'll see all these teams. You put your hours into this. So this is where you see a little bit of disparity, at least with these results possibly. But eventually people have to take them seriously. They'll have to go, right, we've got to put time in. Now they're in the Pro League and they've already turned heads. It's going to be an interesting case in the future.
Turned heads and taken heads. Fantastic start for Kinguin as they continue to go undefeated in the Pro League. First phase fell, and we'll see if it's going to be a full 4, as it's going to be Cobblestone, their final test of the evening. Virtus.Pro last time in the Pro League beat Na'Vi on this very map, and now Kinguin are going to be put to the test after our break. Don't go anywhere.